5 letters here, just for everybody out there in Packerland and yourself today. RELAX. Relax.
Yeah. Siege. Riley. Taz. Yeah. Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake a lawyer? Why no water, that the sign of baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed, creeping. Know the real, my lips above them all.
What is up, everybody? It's your boys back for another week of Preseasonpalooza here at the Pick Last Thunderdome, or wherever the fuck we record.
Pick Last Palladium.
The
It's
Pick
almost
Last
a dome.
Palladium.
Would it be
It
a
is.
trapezoid?
Maybe. We
This is
have
considered
2 caves of
trapezoid,
roofs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a trapezoid, but I don't
We're
know
in
what
a-
the 3D model
in,
of a
We're in
trapezoid
a
is.
we're in a mother-daughter house.
A Pick Last Lemon House. Alright, so we are back. It's another week. This week we're going to be doing the AFC and NFC North.
All right.
Of course, last week was the East that we did.
And you could hear our excitement, how thrilled we are to be doing the most consistent divisions
Yeah.
in all of football.
But you know what? I thought the same thing. Me and Mikey, who is back, by the way.
Hey
Welcome-
everybody, I'm
welcome
back. I'm
Mikey.
alive.
Good to have you.
Shockingly after this past weekend.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Oh boy, I'm sure you have more
Oh.
stories.
Oh,
But yeah, no, we were discussing, and I was like, this was the most boring division to do
I know.
because it's like even the North, it's like Steelers, Bengals, and
Yeah.
Ravens, same song and dance. You know what
so
I mean?
I did my predictions, just like number records for the East, AFC and NFC East to recap it today, and I was having so much fun because like there's so many moving pieces to both of those divisions.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like here and it's like, well, Pittsburgh's gonna do well, but everybody else is just.
So before we get into Mikey's
yeah.
his predictions for the NFC and AFC East, let's go around the table. And you're starting us off with that sweet intro that I fucked up. I'm Brian, always on the side, just messing things up, dropping the ball like always. And Mikey is here, and that's because it's alphabetical introductions.
Woo! And something just happened with my door.
And the door just broke.
That's weird. Yeah, no. Whenever Brian leaves the apartment, my
Right.
door moves.
Oh, I thought that
Ghost.
was
It's like
Ghost.
the wind shift.
Yeah.
Wait,
or
what's
Ghosts.
What's alphabetical about it?
ABM.
Oh, all right. You saw. All right. I thought you were going this way.
And
Because
We're
this
done.
way is alphabetical.
No, it's not. Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I was confused. I thought he was starting with him, then me, and then you. I didn't know I didn't realize he started with you. I apologize.
No, we're not on Twitch.
All right, I'm
People
done.
can't see where we're sitting
Yeah,
anymore.
I'm done.
thank God you can edit this.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, you think I edit this?
I'm back.
You can tell when Mikey's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna kind of give Mikey the floor
Okay,
For a few minutes.
I'll be
And laugh on the
relatively quick.
side.
because Mikey missed the East predictions last week, so we were gonna give him the floor, give him a few minutes to get his predictions out.
For the
you
most
know-
part, I wanted to clarify on a few things, but also
How the Cowboys are going 16-0, and then how we
Yeah.
didn't touch
Oh,
on
yeah,
that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Mikey, the floor is all
Wow.
yours
all right,
Dak
so
Prescott's a saint.
to bring us in.
yeah, I don't know. Some as Andrew brought to my attention today, he's not so much of a saint.
Oh yeah.
He's throwing
Yeah.
that Oikos
Hashtag.
Hashtag be
that-
like Favre.
Oh no.
Nah, I like hashtag Dak Dick.
Dak Dick. All right, so I'm just gonna go with the numbers for the AFC East. I feel like Buffalo Bills gonna go 4-12. I have the Jets going 8-8. I feel like they could do well if they trade Bridgewater, and I feel if they get some good return from him, and also Darnold, I think could be pretty well with them this year. Miami, I have them going 10-6, and I have New England going 13-3.
All right.
I feel like New England is going to run away with that division pretty quickly. I think I have them losing like 3 games, kind of in the
Do you
beginning.
see? Do you see Miami more in, like competing for a wild card or just being edged out?
I think that they're going to get eked out of a wild card.
Okay.
I think that they're going to come up close, but I feel like it's going to come down to like the wire with them, and they're just going to fall a little bit short.
Okay.
Over in the NFC East, I have Washington going 7-9. I have the Giants going 8-8. And then
seems like a theme.
it's going to be a little balanced here. Both teams are coming off pretty poor seasons.
No,
so.
I mean you picking the Giants and Jets, both New York teams to go 8-8.
Oh yeah. Well, that was I. Didn't,
What did you say? Did you say the Cowboys yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
He's
So
saving the champs for last.
Well, no. So I'm kind of agreeing. I'm agreeing with your point from last week,
Okay.
where you said that you feel like it's going to be neck and neck with the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, on paper, I have the Dallas going 11-5, 2 games more than what they won last year. But last year, we really did have a mess of a season last year.
Yeah, you guys were the
Yeah.
Giants were an on-field dumpster fire. The Cowboys were kind of an off-field dumpster fire.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened where we lost Zeke, and that same week we also lost our starting one of our offensive linemen, and then we had somebody with our depth, which is not good. We had Chaz Green and let up 6 sacks against Dak and just totally showed us what's going on without Zeke and without an offensive line.
Yeah,
That
Dak
kind
was
of
exposed.
yeah. But we kind of battled back. We won against Oakland, which I felt really good about, but then we lost to the Seahawks to lose the playoff chance. But then we won again against I forgot who we played the last game of the season. The Eagles. We beat the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles. So I have the Eagles going 12-4. I feel like Dallas might be able to eke out a win against New Orleans, who I have them losing to. So it all depends on health for the Cowboys. And I feel like we just got news that Travis Frederick, who's our center, just got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease that could sideline him for weeks, but could also sideline him for years. Like, his nervous system is getting, attacked by the autoimmune disease.
Yeah,
he's but a Washington Redskins player from the 93, I forgot, he tweeted saying that he had that same disease and played for 7 seasons longer from when he was diagnosed. So it really is kind of like a hit or miss.
But then
you
again,
could come back,
the
or you
NFL
could
in
not.
1993
Yeah, totally different.
It's like,
totally different.
oh, you have a concussion? Get the fuck back out there,
Get back.
dopey.
We have a game to win.
So,
All right.
we'll see.
Get out there for the hog pen, you motherfucker.
But I feel like our replacement for him, Looney, he's showing a little bit of promise, but he needs a little bit more work in order for us to be confident.
Okay.
But otherwise, our offensive line is very solid, but it's lacking depth. So if anybody gets hurt, it's going to be a little bit of a problem, I feel.
Okay.
But, I'm happy with our wide receiver core. We lost Dez, but Dez didn't really match our playbook last year, so I don't really feel like we lost a lot.
Not a lot of people match the whole run for 60, throw for 40.
Yeah. So I feel like this is going to be a much quicker offense for us. I'm excited to see how everything kind of matches together with everybody, because we did build a lot of speed. Michael Gallup's kind of doing really well, who's somebody that we signed, that we drafted. Sorry, so he's looking promising. I think our only weaknesses right now would be our tight end, because we have Swaim, who's solid, but he's not amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not Jason Witten. He's got a tall order to fill.
Yeah. I have to say, you guys have had a kind of smooth culture change in the way that you now that Romo, Witten, and Dez are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because they've got the steady hand of Jason Garrett not doing his job.
So
and then they just have like Dak easily took over. I will say, now you have to kind of fill that tight end and wide receiver spot.
The wide receiver spot, I think we're fine with. I don't think it's anything.
Me and Brian thought you guys were between 10th to 13th of best receiving core in the league.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean,
because if Tavon Austin is not, it continues to be the guy that Tavon Austin has been. You have Cole Beasley and Allen Hurns.
We have Hurns, Terrence Williams
Terrence
doing a lot
Terrence
better.
Williams,
He's doing a
yeah.
lot better in training camp now, and also,
God bless Terrence Williams, the one guy who lay up the Giants' victory for him.
yeah.
You got maybe 40 seconds left on the clock. Why don't you run the middle of the field, pal?
Not smart.
Yeah.
Smart. But everybody's kind of saying, that's close with the camp, is saying that Tavon Austin's looking more like college years and not Rams years. Okay. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm scared though, because I feel like I hear that every training
Yeah,
camp. You
that's-
know what I mean?
yeah.
That's like
No, I
everybody
know.
with Danny
I
Amendola.
got
Like
you.
this is the
Amendola,
year
too.
he's gonna
I
play
feel like
16 games.
Yeah.
I feel like preseason and camp are always so full of hope for every team,
Yeah.
and then when like week 1 comes around, it's like, okay, back to football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like back to reality. And I
Um,
feel like it happens every year.
Yep.
So there were 2 things that I kind of took issue with your opinions last week.
Cool.
Not last year.
Shoot straight.
I kind of just want to go over it. I feel like if Dallas doesn't make the playoffs this year, or if they lose in the playoffs, I don't think that Dak's going to be the one that has to worry about a job. I feel like Garrett's going to get fired, and I think that Linehan's going to get fired. I don't think that Dak's going to have to worry. He still shows a ton of promise. He's still showing that he can carry this
yes and
franchise.
no, but I mean, I think it would be more so the year after because Dak's going into his 3rd year right now.
He's
And,
a very attractive trade chip.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
as we said last week, he had a great first year. Second year, like we just said, he'd been kind of exposed with not having Zeke or the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
If he has a subpar year this year, he'll always have the 4th year to bounce back.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying I don't think they're gonna trade Dak.
Yeah.
Franchise quarterbacks are.
Yeah, and I think
Few
that's
and
what
far
he is.
between.
I just think that
I don't
it's
trust
Garrett's.
Jerry Jones.
See,
I see Jerry Jones as a guy like, well, I give you all this. Why don't you give me something in return?
Yeah, but Jerry Jones also put up with Romo when Romo was consistently hurt and consistently not like showed promise, but then hurt, but then always missing the playoffs. But
To make a comparison, I know we're all at one point wrestling fans in this room. I feel like Dak to Jerry Jones is like John Cena to Vince, where
Yeah.
like he is the franchise guy. He doesn't speak out of term. He came out with the whole. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole anthem debate here,
Right.
but he did come out and was like, he said like, oh, that's not the Cowboys way or whatever he said. Like, he came out and gave that company statement. He's the guy who he toes the company line. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he has dick pics. He's a lie.
This is true. This is true.
He today kind of ruins
You know what
everything.
the thing is? Everybody toes that company line in Dallas, and then once Dallas runs afoul, they always talk shit. Look at Dez. He never said one bad thing about Dallas until they
Yeah.
He'll toe
But
like
he didn't even really say anything bad about Dallas, though.
called Sean Lee a snake.
Well, that,
And I mean, he kind of threw some shade on Hard Knocks this week.
Yeah.
When he met with
Yeah.
Hugh Jackson, he's like, I just want realness.
yeah.
He's like, yeah. It was
And
like, ooh.
He kind of slyly implied that Jason Witten's a fucking racist.
Did he? I didn't see that.
Like right as he got cut, he's like,
I do say,
Witten and Romo got boys. They kind of have their own group.
I'm here for the Dez Dallas breakup.
Yeah.
He just looks like a guy who's not over the relationship.
I just want him to sign
meeting
with
with
the
other
Browns.
teams, and he's just like, just want realness, man. My last one was real bad. Has some trust issues,
Yeah.
and I'm looking to get back in the game.
Well, I mean, he also he has a chip on his shoulder because he was. So I was watching. I just finished. Now that it's football season, I just finished watching the All or Nothing documentary that's on Amazon.
Okay.
I tried telling you guys, but they have it with the Cardinals, the Rams, and Dallas, and I watched the one for Dallas where it pretty much follows the entire 2017 season between them.
You watched the Dallas one?
Yeah, it's
that's
shocking.
Weird.
But it's like you could see like Dez, talking to like on the field, he's mic'd up and he's like, that's 3 times in a row they play cover 1 and nobody's throwing me the ball. Nobody's throwing the ball. They keep rushing and you can see like he's got the chip that he's being underutilized, but what he usually was utilized in was with Romo's playbook, not Dak's playbook. So it's like if you want to run with the franchise quarterback, you got to work your offense around him.
Of course.
And Dez just didn't fit that. So that's why, as
And that's
shitty
why-
as it was,
That's why I gave him the comparison to 2007 Giants when
Yeah.
you had no Shockey, no Barber.
yeah.
Yeah.
You played Eli's game.
It was a culture change.
Yeah.
When that came in. What was the second thing you took issue with?
Also, like it kind of irked me because the way Bryan said that he kind of gave Sean Lee shit for getting hurt.
Yeah.
It's like yes, he needs to be on the field for us to do well. We did terrible without him, but you can't really tell a guy like, oh, captain needs to be on the field. But the dude
Yes,
got
you can.
fucking like 4 concussions in 2 years.
Then
Like,
quit and be a coach.
but what I'm saying is like you
I think it
can't.
goes for anybody though.
Yeah.
Like you're expected to be on the field, and
Well,
it
yeah,
sucks
but-
if you get hurt. I mean,
yeah.
Beckham should have been on the field.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
yeah, but-
I get that, but
But like, I'm not gonna give you shit for being like, yeah, well, if
Didn't-
Beckham
wait,
wants to
I'm
win,
sorry.
he needs to be on the field
Didn't
and not get
JPP
hurt.
blow up half his hand, and as soon as he got cleared to play, played?
Yeah, but that's what happens. That's
Yeah,
Sean Lee did
He was
too.
beating people with an oven mitt out on the field.
Yeah. Blocked a lot of field goals with that
Yeah,
thing too.
it was great. No, I mean, I get where both of you are coming from. You know, I
Like,
kind of like in the middle of
obviously
that
he needs to
argument.
be on the field,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when you're hurt, you can't really do anything about it.
I think you guys are kind of like where the Giants are right now, where like you kind of lack a little bit of depth,
Yeah.
and like one piece of the puzzle falls apart, and the whole thing's gonna come unraveled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
Everything's made of crepe paper, and you have nothing behind that
Yeah.
wall.
So Xavier Woods, who's our safety, he got
And
hurt.
5-time tag team champion.
5-time tag team champion. He got hurt, so we kind of have a little bit of depth there, but we're really trying to pull for. We're really trying to get Earl Thomas from the Seahawks.
How did he get hurt? They beat the Bludgeon Brothers on Tuesday for the tag team titles.
fuck, you're right.
Yeah. Maybe he was lying to the Cowboys.
Maybe,
Yeah.
possibly.
Well, you know, if you're hurt, you should be in that ring.
Yeah, it's true. Eric Rowan tore his bicep and
Yeah,
performed the next
he
day.
was in that ring.
true.
He was in that
Eric
ring.
Rowan, captain. But yeah, you're football fans and not wrestling fans. That's 3 wrestling references.
Right. In like 5
This is the
I'm a
most
seconds.
we've
wrestling
ever
fan.
made.
We're all
Yeah,
wrestling fans.
Not
here.
really. Canceled my network subscription.
I did too.
I'm done.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm so,
I never
you know
had
what
one to begin with.
I mean, 2-second side chat about wrestling.
Right.
I feel like I'm at the point where I was with like 07 John Cena,
Right.
where it was like wins. That I'm like, I don't like this direction, and I'm gonna vote with my wallet and fuck the network. I'm not paying for it. I'll get it for
Yeah.
free for WrestleMania, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a friend that just watches like old pay-per-views to fall asleep to. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't watch anything new.
Yeah,
He's like
and
he'll
that's
throw on
cool.
the ECW like from whenever and
Yeah.
just pop that on.
I do like we've had band practice on Mondays, and like there's always like the guy who works there, hangs out in the lobby and watches TV,
Right.
and he always has Raw on. So like I'll come out to use the bathroom, I'll be like, fucking like the B team has a match, and then come back in. All right, so you want to get started here?
Let's pop that.
Pop that North.
Pop that NyQuil and
that-
fucking go right into the
you
NFC.
went a lot more G-rated than I was gonna
I
go.
was gonna
Um,
pop that fucking what, Ambien.
I was
Just-
gonna say pop that North Cherry.
I was thinking, remember Jack's walk-up music that he wanted for softball? It was
No.
"Pop That Pussy."
Oh. How could I forget?
Just like awkwardly like looking up the dugout, like oh shit.
We have to take ownership
now,
of that, though.
You know what? We'll leave it on Mikey because he wasn't here last week.
Okay.
Do you want to start with the NFC or the AFC?
Let's go with the AFC because that's boring,
Yeah,
and then we could
I like
follow
that.
up hard
With
with
the
the
main event.
NFC.
So,
Which is equally as boring.
well, I guess we'll do it the way we did it last week, where
Records.
we did it from the 2017 standings.
Hold on, let me clarify. It's boring because the teams are so good, not because they're so bad like the AFC. So it's the total opposite.
like,
no,
it's polar
It's
opposite.
more that each team knows its role, and they kind of just do the same
know,
thing
same
every
thing
year.
every year.
If it wasn't for the incompetency of the Browns, they would have had a mirror thing. Because if you look at it,
Yeah.
one team was 13-3, another team was 9-7, another team was I think 7-9, and then the last place team was like the Bears were 5-10 or 5-11, whatever the fuck they were.
Yeah, I think they're 5-11.
And then the Browns were shit.
Yeah, 0-16.
So it's like, yeah, it's like all right, it's the same.
Come on, you
fucking
guys
thing.
could win 5 games.
You couldn't squeak out one.
All right, so we'll start with the AFC North. Steelers going to be first. Last year going 13-3.
Okay.
Some changes we got this year. New offensive coordinator, Randy Fitchner. Is how you say his name, Fitchner.
Okay.
Le'Veon Bell.
Unhappy.
That's a situation. They gave him what, 1 year? Another
They gave
1
him
year.
They tagged him.
Yeah,
they
they've
tagged
tagged him, so he's got
yeah.
1 year. I think it's 14 mil.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be his last year.
Oh yeah.
No,
As a
14
Steeler.
mil.
Next year, he's going to be the big free agent signing.
Yeah.
I'm throwing my layup early. Lev Bell to the Jets.
I was thinking
They
Lev Bell
freed
to
up
the
a lot of
Dolphins.
room.
What?
I was thinking Lev Bell to the Dolphins.
Either way, I think
See,
he's
I
coming
was
to the
thinking
he's coming to the East.
Put him
Yeah.
right behind Zeke and Dallas. You know, the 1-2 punch.
There's no fucking way.
Kidding. Totally kidding.
No fucking way Dallas would be like, you know what? Let's spend like $40 million on our running backs this year.
And I look at this Le'Veon Bell situation, and as a Giant fan, this is why I was skeptical about Saquon Barkley. When it comes to re-signing running backs, when tread is on those tires, teams are non-committal.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, and I said it last week. If in 4 years we're non-committal about Saquon Barkley, and I'm watching Sam Darnold run the Jets, I'm gonna be kind of peeved. You know what I mean? But that was last week talk. Just reminds me of the whole Lev Bell thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So Lev Bell 1 year, 14 mil. Morgan Burnett safety 3 year, 4.7 mil.
Okay.
And then their draft was 28th overall. They took Terrell Edmonds safety, 60th overall, second round, James Washington, wide receiver. I think he will be replacing, what's his name? It's escaping me. The guy they had the problem with. last year, the receiver.
Martavius Bryant?
Yeah, I think he's going to kind of fill his void. And then third,
the alien guy.
third round, 76th overall, Mason Rudolph, quarterback, who Big Ben was not happy about.
Big bitch Roethlisberger?
Big bitch. Yeah, dude, that's all he does. He just bitches. He's like,
I love.
this might be the last year for old Ben.
I think
I'm coming back, but I got the boot.
Yeah,
we drafted a quarterback. I don't
Anybody
like
that
this.
calls themselves with the prefix of old is just like, fuck you.
Well, I think
Old Ben.
he's softened up on Mason Rudolph throughout the camp.
Of course.
And also probably because fucking
he knows
Steelers ownership said, hey man,
Relax.
calm the fuck down.
Yeah, we took a guy in the third round.
Yeah. Like, he's not going to see. You have. Like, your backup is fucking Caleb Landry.
Yeah,
like
we needed
you're
somebody.
fine. Yeah.
Relax.
I think.
Someone's a little insecure.
Yeah. For a guy who's been suspended for rape charges, he's a
little insecure.
He's a little insecure.
Wow.
Back when rape didn't matter in the NFL.
3 rape jokes
Hey, man,
that I
we
didn't
bring
make.
it. We bring it.
Was it Pat? Is it 11 minutes? Pat?
Yeah.
It's usually my
we're at
quota.
20. We made it 20 minutes with that
Okay,
rape joke.
Good job.
Got
That's,
it.
that's 9 minutes longer.
So, I mean, the Steelers, arguably of all the teams we looked up this week, some of the least moves. I think the only team with less moves than it was the Jaguars.
Right.
So, I mean, you know what they're coming into with this year. It's Big Ben, it's Antonio Brown, it's Le'Veon Bell.
Well, they needed
it's the
to-
Killer Bees.
They needed to fix that defense. That defense was very weak last year.
Yes.
That was their biggest problem. And I think with you said they drafted
They drafted Terrell Edmonds at 28 overall, and they signed Morgan Burnett.
So they signed
two safeties.
Two safeties.
Yeah.
So that revamps their backfield a
Yeah.
little bit. They still have T.J. Watt, who was a pretty good rookie.
Yeah, no, he shined.
They play. I think they play a 3-4 as well.
Yeah.
And I think with the I'm still remembering a lot of old players that were on the team. I'm like, this fucking no, but I think that the Steelers will have to improve that defense.
Of course.
They have to be strong. They have to be healthy.
And I mean, don't forget late last season they had the whole Ryan Shazier thing.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, that's another player not on your roster.
Exactly. Yeah. It's and it's tough to lose a guy like Shazier to an injury like that because he was an up and coming guy. I think if the Steelers can stay healthy defensively, because we know what they can do offensively, that's like defense is the big thing, especially in the AFC Black and Blue division.
Yes.
You know, you got because they have teams like Baltimore and Cincinnati who maybe might not have been good, or a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
They still beat the
middle
shit.
of the road teams.
Those are still 6 games or whatever, how many games in the division that they beat the fucking shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And they have to survive those games to win every other to make the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where like every fucking year, Big Ben's like, oh, it might be my last year,
Oh, I fucking hate him.
and it's just like, I feel like he's not going anywhere right now because the Steelers continuously just have like a walk in the park to the playoffs. It's like, just play normal football and you guys will be in the playoffs.
It's like we still have the Browns in our division, buddy.
I mean, that's why you get all these complaints about like how the AFC is just the Steelers pat show,
Right.
Because both of those teams just have like walks to the playoffs because their division rivals haven't really done anything lately. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the Steelers went 13-3 last year. Schedule-wise, looking at this year, I think they go
pretty close.
11-5. I think just the way their schedule works out, division-wise, I think they beat the Browns twice, beat the Bengals twice, and I think they split with the Ravens.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have them beating, besides their division, the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers.
So you said they're splitting with the Ravens, right?
Yes.
So they have a chance right off the bat to go 4-0.
Yeah.
And that's
Right off the bat.
and they're set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think they lose to the Falcons, Jaguars, Pats, Saints, and 1 to the Ravens.
Okay.
Actually, wait. You said they're going to take 2 from Cleveland and Cincinnati.
And yeah.
Fuck, they're going to go like 6-1 before
That's what
the
I'm
bye.
saying.
Their
That's
bye
what-
week is
as long as
yeah.
Although
It's week
I mean,
7.
there's always the wild card of the old Madden curse with Antonio Brown.
Antonio
Oh, he's
Brown.
on the cover of Madden this year.
Yeah.
See, that's how far
Yeah.
I don't buy Madden.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the point?
He's on the cover, so
This might be my last year of getting Madden because that game is hot garbo.
it's grown on me. It's a change.
It's weird.
It is a change.
They
You can't just hold turbo anymore. You have
No,
to maneuver
I
your way through
understand
the
that.
line.
I understand that, but I don't want to get into it right now.
Here's a
We
crazy
could have like
thing.
a side episode
Yeah.
of like a Madden.
They have 2 back-to-back night games against Carolina and Jacksonville, which could save a lot of legs on Big Ben and all these guys.
Yeah.
They're not constantly playing 1 o'clock. They play 4 1 o'clock games in a row, and then 2 8 o'clock games late in the season. So that's,
You always have to factor things in
Yeah.
like that when you look at schedules.
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like they travel far. It's Carolina at home and Jacksonville.
Exactly.
So it's Jacksonville in November.
Yeah.
So it'll be 60 degrees.
Yeah, right?
So I think that's
Woe is Big Ben.
yeah. Oh, I gotta break out the old long sleeves and double gloves, baby. But no, I think they have a decent schedule. They don't have as hard of a schedule as some teams, but they have a nice, cushy start,
Yeah.
which could determine their season whole.
I think they're definitely going to be in the playoffs this
Yep.
year. Absolutely.
I have them going 12-4.
Okay.
Okay.
I have them winning against Cleveland, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, the Falcons, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Denver, Oakland, New England, and Cincinnati. I have them losing to Baltimore, losing to Cleveland once, losing to Carolina, and losing to New England. I feel like there's going to be like some matchups where it's like they look like favorites, but they fall apart, and I think Cleveland's going to give them a run for their money.
They've always kind of been like...
At least one game.
I mean, we both said lose to the Pats. I always feel like they're kind of like the little brother to the Pats
Yeah.
always. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like they both walk in the division.
It's
Pats
weird
always
because
win
as
it.
soon as Ben gets in a rhythm, guess what? You're playing against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady
You
will
also-
get into a better rhythm.
I also feel like Mike Tomlin is a man who coaches with emotion.
yeah.
And so, like, when they get on a roll like that and they're winning, they ride this high and mighty train. And then when they start losing a game at the half, I feel like maybe not the best halftime speeches from that guy. just a hunch of mine. He's like, the fuck you idiots doing out there? It's like, sorry, Mike.
No,
Brian, where do you fall in the ballpark of, like, where they go record-wise?
I really only see 2 losses in this whole thing.
You think 14-2?
I think
You think
14-2.
Let me guess that you think that they lose to New England,
Uh-huh.
and do you think they lose to Carolina or
Jacksonville.
Atlanta? Oh, okay.
I think they lose to Jacksonville because Jalen Ramsey owns Ben Roethlisberger.
Ooh.
Owns him.
Yeah.
He owns his ass.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see Mason Rudolph in that game.
What was the Jalen quote on?
Oh,
who?
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey's quote on Big Ben, he's like, he's not as good as they say he is. I own him. He's thrown 6
Okay. interceptions
to me already.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like we beat him in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's. I mean, obviously, I'm probably gonna be wrong
Yeah.
because he'd probably be more. You said 12-4.
Yeah.
I do agree. In 13-3,
Yeah, it's
split of
11-5.
11-5.
11-5. I
Yeah.
do see maybe 13-3 again.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Cleveland's going to sneak out any wins. I think Baltimore and Cincinnati are going to beat them down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I see the Chargers beating them. They could beat them, and I
Yeah.
see Denver beating them as well.
See, I'm always weird on the Chargers because I never know what Chargers team we're getting.
If it's
Yeah.
late in the season, I think it's going to be a good Chargers team.
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
They're always slow starting.
They're late half.
And they play them close to the end
Yeah.
of the season.
Them and Seattle are both like second half of the schedule
Yeah.
teams.
But like, here's the thing I feel with Cleveland is
You
really
bought the hype.
I'm on that train. I'm on that hype train. But I mean, like, yeah, Steelers have Antonio Brown, but now like Cleveland has Jarvis Landry, and they also have Josh Gordon, and they have a solid running game, and now they have a quarterback that can throw to them.
And
like,
they have Huey Jackson.
and
Yeah, and there's your problem.
yeah, I understand that, but I think if you give them somebody who's competent at throwing a football now,
Yeah.
They've had a bunch
it
of
might
competent
be.
guys throw footballs, and look where it led them.
Who was there last year?
Last year was Deshaun Kaiser. He wasn't competent. He's out.
Yeah.
But they've had a billion fucking quarterbacks that have winning records. They had Jake Delhomme, who was a Super Bowl quarterback. They
How
had,
long ago was that?
It was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. They
Yeah.
had Jeff Garcia, who sucked. They had
I even thought RG3 wasn't bad with them. He just got a shit stick.
RG3,
You know what I mean?
RG3 has a career shit stick.
Exactly.
Like he's in the same boat that I feel like Tim Tebow was, where he was never really given a fair shot.
Yeah.
he was
And
only given
Tebow
a
was given a fair
franchise.
shot. Tebow was given a fair shot, but then after that season, dropped,
I
and
would-
then never a fair shot
I would
after
love
that.
to see RG3 become one of these like Sam Bradford types.
Just
kind of
goes
like
team to team.
He's kind of a bit of a journeyman. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, let's be real. The reason he's on the Ravens is to kind of help Lamar Jackson and
Yeah.
help him guide him through, like, don't do what I did.
Right.
You know what I mean? A
Don't
little
blow
bit.
your
Yeah.
knee out.
Yeah.
And then be.
Don't run an entirely one-dimensional offense.
Don't work for a Shanahan.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we could move on
Yes,
with
please.
the Steelers. So we're going to go to the Ravens.
Okay.
Who,
Cool.
that'll probably be the most fun in the AFC,
Sure.
right?
Not fun to watch, but
Well,
fun
I mean, to talk
predict.
about.
Okay.
Yeah. So 9-7 last year. The additions, of course, like we just said, RG3, 1 year, 11 mil. Michael Crabtree, 3 years, 21 mil. Willie Snead, 2 years, 7 mil. And wide receiver John Brown, 1 year, 5 mil. So kind of a revamped,
Yeah.
like, wide receiving core with
A lot of
weapons,
burners.
weapons for Flacco.
Yeah, a lot of guys who could go deep if they have to.
Yeah. Draft, first round, 25th overall, they took Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And then they traded up to 32 to take Lamar Jackson, the quarterback. So a bit of a revamped offense with weapons in place for when the torch is eventually passed from Lamar Jackson to Flacco.
Yeah.
And it gives Flacco, weapons for, his last few years, I would assume, with the Ravens.
They have a late season bye. They have like a November 11th bye, so that could help Flacco out as well. I mean, at least it's a competitive schedule.
I
Mostly.
I know we're going to talk a little bit before we get into schedule predictions. I think the Ravens are going to kind of be around what they were last year, schedule-wise. But I
have a
could
tough
easily
schedule
see
this year.
them going, like, winning a few more.
Right.
Just because, like, motivated Joe Flacco is a different person.
What did they go last year again?
9-7.
9-7.
And I think when you get, like, Joe Flacco looks like he hasn't given a shit in, like, 3 years. He's like,
Wasn't-
I won the
wasn't
Super Bowl.
Flacco's
Oh,
back
fuck.
all fucked up last year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
getting
think so.
out? Yeah.
I think he's like, I won the Super Bowl. He's riding easy. But now he's got this
I'm
Jackson
Joe Cool,
kid,
baby.
on the bench, and he goes, like, one bad game, this guy could be in. This could be the end of my career.
Yeah,
He's
well,
got a
I-
little motivation.
I was watching
We'll
that Hall
fire
of
it up.
Fame game. It was at like Baltimore
Yeah.
and who of the someone else.
The Bears.
The Bear, yeah. And fucking Lamar Jackson hit Hunter Hurst for. Oh no, Hunter Hurst.
Yeah, I think so.
And hit him for the.
Probably.
hit him in the end zone for his first touchdown. I was like, and they go right over to Joe Flacco, and I'm like, well, he shook.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's standing with his arms crossed. He's like, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
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 cool.
this guy is fucking.
I would have loved if you just like
Look.
deadpan looked into the camera,
Yeah.
like this is gonna happen all season. Like
Yeah,
anytime this guy
yeah.
throws a touchdown, you're just gonna zoom in on me.
It's-
Yeah.
That was like that happened with in 2016 with Dak and Romo. Every time Dak had a touchdown, they would show Romo because it's just like,
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
who's-
it's like,
look who's gonna
oh,
surpass you.
He's mad.
I would love it.
I
if-
don't think they've done that with either Webb or Loletta with Eli.
No.
Because I think they know,
Yeah.
like, not gonna fucking bench Eli.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not
Yeah,
again.
Not again.
After all he's done.
I would love it if they go over to they pan over to fucking Flacco and he's standing there with Terrell Suggs and goes, CBS will give me 6 years at 50. Well, but Fox has an opening right away. What am I gonna do?
Oh God.
NBC looks like it's.
Good Lord.
And Terrell Suggs said, "No one's gonna hire you. Too fucking boring. Your dad even called you boring."
All right, so with,
I've always compared Joe Flacco a little bit to Eli
Right.
because I felt like, there's always is he elite, is he not elite?
Right.
Both when fired up and motivated are completely different people, and both have had their very big ups and very big downs.
Flacco's a little bit more accurate than
Both-
Eli ever was.
Both teams, fans of the teams, will
Ride or
defend to the
die,
death that
yeah.
they're elite, while people outside of those teams aren't so sure.
Well, that's what happens when you win a championship for your team.
Exactly.
You'll start buying in to be like, all right, this guy is.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I feel like the Ravens and the Giants, both Super Bowl teams, I feel like they kind of had the same thing happen to them where they both got hot at the right time.
Yeah.
And that's what put their quarterback into question of whether they're elite or not.
The Ravens got hot because the power went out.
Yeah,
And
that's
then it
exactly what
cut
it
off
was. That's
all
exactly what it was.
momentum.
No, but
Yeah.
like even leading up to the Super Bowl, they were like on fire at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, because Ray Lewis took that deer piss steroid
Yeah. But
and murdered a man.
As a Dallas fan, obviously, like, I respect Eli a lot. Although I
course.
playfully give him shit all the time.
It's how
But-
I think both of us were with Romo.
Yeah.
It's like I respect the player, didn't like the jersey he wore.
Yeah.
That's where I stood.
Yeah. So with
Speak for
Eli,
yourself.
with Eli, he was he's a great quarterback, but I don't know if I I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I think that's because of the 2 Super Bowls. I think if you take those 2 Super Bowls away, he's not a Hall of Famer.
And you don't look at his stats,
Well, to get back on topic with
Go ahead.
Joe Flacco, it's like you're seeing something now where it's like we said, like they're building up, like, oh, any week could be the end of Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think next year he's gonna, or how many years does he have on his contract? Do you know?
think like 2 more years.
Okay. Maybe this could be the last year of Flacco with the Ravens, and maybe he gets
Because if
an
they cut
Alex
him, it's
Smith deal.
They could cut him, then save some cap space, and then go
Yeah.
after some other free agents. Like
It
the
depends
left
how they
bell.
do this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think their offensive line needs a bit of work.
Yeah. Because I could easily see him being a trade piece,
Yeah.
like Alex Smith.
But you have to see what teams would need an old quarterback. Like if you see like a team
course.
that's one step away.
There's always a team hungry for a
like-
quarterback.
Like a Dallas Cowboys. That like maybe we need a veteran hand.
Flacco to Dallas?
Flacco to Dallas. Maybe he takes him to the next level.
Maybe.
No, thank you.
You wouldn't sign up for that? A proven winner?
No.
A Super Bowl winning
A
champion?
Super Bowl winning guy?
No.
All he does is just drop back and throw buckets.
I mean,
It's
I
like-
mean,
Guy who has had 0 leak nudes on the internet?
I feel like I'll take him to like just sit on the bench and give Dak Prescott like advice.
It would
That's
be
about
Dak's
it.
like 4th year in the league. I don't think he needs advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's
That's
what you
I'm
want to
saying.
do, kid. Not send dick pics.
Maybe put that phone away, pick
yeah.
up a playbook, know what I'm saying?
How about you just show up to our hotel, show you a dick, and then leave?
He picks up the playbook, he opens it, it just says, pass the ball to Zeke.
Yeah. Hand off. Hand off.
Okay, so we'll go schedules now for the Ravens.
All right.
Of course, 9-7 last year. My record, I have them going this year, 9-7. I think they repeat the same fucking record. I think they beat the Browns twice, split with the Bengals, and split with the Steelers.
Okay.
So I think overall the wins are Bills, Bengals, Broncos, Steelers, Browns 2, Raiders, Buccaneers, and Chargers. And I think they lose to the Titans, Saints, Panthers, Steelers, Bengals, Falcons, and Chiefs.
I see them beating the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I see them beating Tennessee as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are another wild card. We don't know
and
what
of course,
Mahomes is going to be.
I think they're gonna stomp all over Buffalo.
You think? Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely.
I
I have them winning against Buffalo.
do
too.
see them. I do see them doing the nasty split with the Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And also, I don't like Cleveland, so I see them getting smacked around again because historically, Cleveland can't beat old Cleveland.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They can't beat them.
Old Cleveland always comes back.
Old Cleveland always wins.
Any overall record prediction?
I'm leaning towards 9-7 as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
I see them getting like whooped by the Panthers, Broncos, Falcons, and I think that
You
Buccaneers
think
might.
the Broncos are going to be good this year?
Nah.
I
I
don't
think
no.
so.
Well, they have Case Keenum as their quarterback.
They do, but I wonder if Case Keenum was a product of Pat Shermer.
We'll find out.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
As Eli Manning throws fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
right? Well, I mean, I know we keep sidetracking, but like another thing with Pat Shermer I noticed was how much he did for Davis Webb this week in preseason. Like Davis Webb looked like shit in the first preseason
He's
game.
a quarterback
Shermer
coach,
came
man.
out and he said, "I'm going to do some things this week to calm him down. We're going to get him out there." And he looked poised as all hell this in the week too. You know what I mean?
He's like, why don't you take a hit of this?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. You saw like one of the coaches come over and talk to him as the game was starting, and I saw Davis Webb mouth, "I'm good. I'm good. Like, don't worry about it."
Yeah.
So I was like, Keenum might be a product of Pat Shermer. You know what I mean?
I mean,
We'll see.
he bounced around the league for a while. He's a serviceable guy, but
Yeah.
we gotta save it for when we do the
Of
list.
course.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like games like that and the Chiefs, like they're hard to predict. So you know, we'll see what the Ravens can do.
I'll do I'll do a flip for the Broncos and the Broncos and the Raiders. One of them will get a win.
Okay,
I see also Tampa Bay squeaking out a win.
man, the West is gonna be fun.
Yeah. West would be good.
All right. So I have the Ravens at 8-8.
Okay,
I feel like they're going to win against Buffalo, Denver, Cincy, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, the Chargers, Cincinnati, and Tennessee. I think they lose. They split with Pittsburgh, split with Cleveland. They lose against New Orleans. They lose against Carolina, Cincinnati, Oakland, Kansas City, and Cleveland. I actually have them losing to Cleveland twice. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 200%
Wow.
more times than they won last
Mikey
year.
is
Yeah.
all in on the Browns.
No.
I can't wait till we
even
get to-
with no Des Bryant.
I just feel like the Browns are going to be a little bit of an upset for everybody this year. I think everybody's going to underestimate them and not play them accordingly. And I think that's what's because look, the Ravens have destroyed them year after year.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go in a little light compared to, what they should. I think on paper what this team should be.
Well, I guess we'll be getting to the Browns soon, so we'll have more to say on that. But first, we gotta talk about the Bengals.
Football Siberia.
Yeah, football Siberia, 100%. Last year, going 7-9.
Anybody who gets drafted there, it's just like career's over.
I think that's worse than the Browns because at least with the Browns, you're like a high touted pick.
And then you're gone in like 3 years.
With the Bengals, it's like you're a middle round pick. You're going to a middle round team.
Yeah, it's like they're too good to lose every game to get a good pick, but they're also so bad that they just can't get out of their own way.
One thing that does interest me though about the Bengals, they brought in new offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. Offensive coordinator has one of my new favorite names, Bill Lazor.
Ooh.
Yeah. I like that. And the defensive coordinators,
B. Laser,
Terrell
so
Austin.
Blazer.
Yeah, Blazer.
Ooh,
Blazer. That blazing offense. The blazing Bengals.
Too bad he's coaching under Marvin Lewis, so it's going to be pretty boring.
So somebody's going to be like, yeah, look, it's B. Laser. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's Blazer. No, B. Laser. It's going to be the whole GIF and GIF.
B. the Laser.
GIF and GIF.
B. Laser. Terrell Austin, new defensive coordinator. Re-signed Tyler Eifert, 1 year, $5.5 million. I think that's another prove-it deal. I think that's a stay healthy deal.
Yeah,
he's missed more games in the NFL than he's played.
Sounds like Sean Lee.
Cordy Glenn, left tackle, 3 years, $30 million.
Okay.
Big, good offensive line boost. Kevin Huber, getting that big punter money, 3 years, $7.9 million.
Oof.
And Bobby Hart, former tackle for the Giants, getting 1 year, $1 million. So that's a pretty.
That's a show me deal.
Yeah, exactly. I believe he was the guy that Gettleman just said, like, get the fuck out of my office.
Like, what are you still doing here?
Because he was a big locker room cancer. And they were like, you're not even good, get out of here.
Yeah.
That was the move that told me I like David Gettleman. When he was like, he just was just like, get the fuck out of here.
He's like, I'm suffering from cancer, but you're the worst thing here.
He beat it. Oh, he's in remission.
Oh, yeah, he beat it.
I think as soon as he left the locker room,
he beat two cancers in 1 year.
It's like most people can't even beat one.
Maybe one was causing the other.
Bryan is bringing the dark humor, and I appreciate it.
I feel like you could always tell that when I tweet.
Yeah.
On fake last Twitter.
Bengals draft, first round, 21st overall, Billy Price, center. So another offensive line upgrade.
Good pick.
Second round, 54th overall, Jesse Bates, a safety. So really improving the defense and the offensive line a little bit.
Got to give Andy Dalton some protection now that he doesn't have A.J. McCarron behind him.
Yeah.
He has Matt Barkley behind him.
They just traded one of their safeties.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's Matt Barkley.
They traded one of their safeties, I believe.
Really? Oh, so it's kind of a replacement then?
Yeah.
So again, just same fucking team.
Yep.
I think George Iloka is the guy. I think he played with Cincinnati. Keep talking. Let me check.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I mean, I don't have much talking points on the Bengals. Like we said, it's fucking Siberia.
Yeah.
I think they've been so consistently mediocre. I'm going to say this is the year something breaks. Not in a good way.
Uh-oh.
4-12.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little harsh. They still have A.J. Green and Andy Dalton who have been healthy.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know. I mean, it's very easily they do kind of stay middle of the road. I think this is the year that they kind of don't have a great year and maybe get a high draft pick.
Do you think if they do fail?
Yeah.
This is the.
Do you think they go for like a new coach?
Yeah, because he signed a 2-year extension.
Yeah, I think so.
And everyone was expecting him to go.
Yeah. So I think so. I think if they fucking suck this year, it's like, get out.
Because, I mean, that owner, he loves ending contracts. He loves having guys start a contract and end the contract with that team.
And I think you have a new offense and a new defense.
Right.
My thing with a lot of teams this year is a lot of coordinator moves, and new systems take time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think schedule-wise, I think this they lose to the Steelers twice. I think they split with the Ravens, and they split with the Browns. So I think their 4 wins are the Ravens, the Buccaneers, the Browns, and the Broncos. And I think they lose to the Colts, Panthers, Falcons, Dolphins, Steelers twice, Chiefs, Saints, Ravens, Chargers, Raiders, and one to the Browns.
Well,
It's not the hardest schedule I've ever seen, and maybe I was a little harsh on them, but I think it's for maybe the betterment of the team that they have a bad year, maybe get a high draft pick.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a new offensive coordinator, a new
sometimes
defense, you get a big player, start a new culture
Sometimes
change,
you
get
gotta
a new coach.
You gotta burn the world to
Exactly.
To grow anew.
Exactly.
So I'll clarify that the safety was playing for the Bengals. I don't know if he released or he just became a free agent.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, I
he
saw
got
that.
traded he signed with the Vikings.
Yes, I did see that recently.
So for the Bengals, for me.
I saw that.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to mention it today or if you.
Oh, we can. I mean, it's kind of breaking news. It happened this afternoon.
Yeah.
Patriots releasing Kenny Britt.
Told you.
Yeah.
One of those
Yeah.
guys from camp is not gonna make it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what the Pats do, man. They just cut fucking receivers like
Yep.
that.
Hey man, I'll take him in Dallas.
Really? Would you?
No.
I wouldn't mind a shot on the Giants, but we
Nope.
have no cap room.
I don't want him.
Well, just because, I mean, I don't know who the fuck our wide receiver 3 is. Is it going to be Latimer? Is it going to be Roger Lewis? Like, we have room to try out guys at camp, but we don't have cap to sign anybody.
I don't want.
so-
I don't want Kenny Britt anywhere near. He's just you can't fit in anywhere,
Yeah.
and you need a special kind of coach to get something out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we might have a special.
so for me with the
Yeah.
Bengals, I have them going 6-10.
Okay.
I have
So you
them,
also think they take a little bit of a slip this year,
Yeah.
but pretty consistent.
I feel like they win against the Colts, they win against Miami, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Denver, and Cleveland, and they lose to Baltimore, Carolina, Atlanta, Kansas City, New Orleans, Cleveland, Oakland, Pittsburgh twice, and the Chargers. That's kind of where I fall with them. I feel
Okay.
like it's going to be a very up and down year, but mostly down.
yeah.
Like it's like peaks and valleys, but the valleys are deep.
Yeah. I like I said, I
It's
just
like
think,
Valley Stream over there.
I think this team needs a culture change. I think it's going to be a little bit of a progression, learning a new system, and it is what it is. Brian, what do you how do you feel the Bengals are going to be this year?
I feel the Bengals will be. Yeah, the more you're talking about them breaking,
Yeah.
the more it kind of made sense to
Yeah.
me. They do play Cleveland late. Like they play Cleveland within like 4 weeks of each other.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I see them beating Indianapolis, or Baltimore. I see them beating Miami. Because I think they always had
man.
Miami's number.
Mikey's on my team with Dolphins 10-6.
I
Miami Revolution, baby.
I have them losing to Miami. Winning against Miami.
Oh well, you still have them 10-6.
Yeah.
So
I see them maybe splitting with Cleveland. I see them maybe Baltimore split too. To Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. And New Orleans is going to throttle them. Oakland, I see them.
I see them losing against Oakland.
I see them more like five
Yeah.
wins, maybe 6 wins. Like it's a skinny 6 wins.
Yeah.
Like it's like I can't believe they fucking won that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I do see them whooping Indianapolis the first game, giving everybody in Who Dat Nation.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Who was it? Who Dat or Who Day?
I think
Who Day?
Who-
Who Day? Who Dat's
Yeah.
the Saints?
Who that's the same?
one of them's got it.
Yeah.
The Bengals can't take that.
They can't take anything.
They haven't won a Super Bowl to earn that. The Saints earned that.
In the Who Day.
Yeah.
In Who
That's
Day
like
Nation.
making your own nickname. It's
Yeah.
like, shut up.
Making the Icky Shuffle City.
Yeah.
I see them.
I want my
Stick to
nickname
that.
to be
Yeah,
Blazer.
I see them. If anything, if they do split with Baltimore, I see this early run. They get off to 2-0, and then fucking Carolina just slaps them to reality.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
everyone's
just-
like, oh, the Bengals this year.
Because in a row, it's Carolina, Atlanta, Miami, Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City, and Tampa.
Because there's always that team that wins the first 2 weeks. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to be hot this year.
Yeah.
Oh, they're doing it. This is the year. And then it's like, get the fuck back.
Yeah,
Get in line.
get in line,
Um,
pal.
All right, so, I mean, we're pretty much both on the same ballpark with Steelers and Ravens.
Yeah.
Bengals, we're all kind of agreeing, kind of in the ballpark.
Yeah.
That's probably been the most diverse
I
yet.
think I'm being a little soft on them.
Of course, yeah.
But I honestly do think like they could like I'm saying a very squeaky 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
the most squeakiest 6 I've
You
ever
have to
given.
admire consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes at 6 or 7 wins a season,
Yeah, sign him up.
better than 5 wins a season.
That's how I think that's how Marvin Lewis keeps his job.
Oh, exactly.
It's like, it's better
it's a
than-
sign above his door. It says better than 5 wins a season.
It's like, look at Cleveland.
Yeah,
Here
better
we
than
are.
Cleveland.
Yeah, better than-
Speaking of Cleveland,
Let's get
here
him
we
over
go.
with.
Let's go.
Coming off, another 0-16 year. The parade,
Well, they're 1-31.
they're 1-31.
in the Hugh Jackson era.
Yeah.
Fuck,
So, the big parade for
How does he
the
still have a
women's team.
job? I don't get it.
Well, I'll tell you why
I
he
don't
isn't.
get it.
Why he
Whose-
still has a job.
Whose naked pictures does he have on his phone that he's threatening to release?
Him and Eric Flowers are in the Illuminati.
yeah,
Stay on
like,
their
like
respective
what the fuck? Like,
franchises.
are they connected via some mafia or mob? Like, what's going on there? Can we get a deeper? This is a conspiracy.
Now this is gonna be the Wild West. I feel like as far as all of our predictions, because I feel like we're all gonna be a little. This is the most diverse of this division.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Oh, by the way, I heard yesterday that in Vegas, for when they're
Yeah.
doing the sports bets and the odds are, there have been more bets for the Cleveland Browns to win the AFC North this year
That's a
than
lot waste
like
of money.
any other team.
Well, because that's a bet man's game.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like
They're
nobody would fucking bet on this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet on this. You know what I mean?
It's also one of those things where it's like if you have $100 to blow, like
Blow it.
blow it, because if they do, you'll make fucking bank.
Blow
Say
it.
it's like 100 to 1. That's
Baloney.
That's $1,000.
Yeah. So it's like you're
Right,
gonna win
100,
bank on that.
1,000, right.
You're set for life if you win that bet in Vegas.
How much?
Well, no, it would depend on the odds. It depends
I
on
don't
what
know.
the
Well,
odds.
Betting
no, it
odds.
depends on how much are you betting.
Yeah.
Like if you were to bet for them to win
I
on.
don't fucking know. I'm not a bettor. I don't know how that
You
works.
said you'd be set for life. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
because
figure out how much
if
you're betting
if
here.
you're a guy in Vegas, those odds are in your favor if you win.
Yeah, if
I don't know
you,
how much you're betting.
if you're like, I'm gonna throw like,
If you throw like 25 grand on it, like yeah, you're set. Like with the.
why would you have that money? You're so irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What liquor store did you rob?
So I'll tell you why Hugh Jackson still has a job, and I think he's in the same situation as Lewis is, Martin
Okay.
Lewis, because they have a new GM in John Dorsey and a new offensive coordinator in Todd Haley, who's the former Steelers offensive coordinator, who will now be doing the play calling and not Hugh Jackson. So I think they're saying, well, we've revamped this team. Let's see what Hugh Jackson can do when he's not play calling and head coaching, because that works so well with the track record of Ben McAdoo, Hugh Jackson. Clearly being a head coach and play calling works great. So they're going to give him a shot at not doing that and see how he pans out. So they've given extensions to Josh Gordon, 1 year, $790,000. Duke Johnson, 3 years, $15.6 mil. Jarvis Landry got 5 years, $75.5 mil. Carlos Hyde, 3 years, signed for 3 years, $15.2 mil. TJ Curry, cornerback, 4 years, $31 mil. Chris Hubbard, offensive tackle, 5 years, $36 mil. And Terrence Mitchell, 3 years, $10 mil.
Brian's having an aneurysm over here.
I got how
We're
much
throwing
money
out
was
all
thrown.
this money.
For all those money. I mean, this makes betting 25 grand at them in Vegas look
Yeah.
great.
They had all this money going into the draft, and they like, we'll blow it.
Yeah, it's like when you have you get paid like holiday pay at work, or like you get your tax return,
Yeah.
and you just buy the dumbest shit just because
Yeah.
you have money.
It's like I could save this.
So draft wise, first round, first overall Baker Mayfield, fourth overall Denzel Ward, the cornerback, second round 33rd overall Austin Corbett, guard, and second round 35th overall they took Nick Chubb, the running back. So they've kind of revamped this team, new wide receivers, a new running game in Carlos Hyde and Nick Chubb. Of course,
And
and there
Duke-
was
and Duke Johnson that they
Tyrod
also-
Taylor. Yeah,
Yeah.
also.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know
they-
why I didn't write that
They
down.
have 3 running backs. How much did Duke Johnson get again?
Duke Johnson got 3 years, $15.6 mil. Carlos Hyde got 3 years, $15.2 mil, and Nick Chubb, I don't know what.
So they're paying
he's
two.
on the rookie.
They're paying 2 running backs who get hurt all the time $5 million this year.
Yeah, to have Nick
'Cause
Chubb.
Nick Chubb's gonna
to
be
have
the-
Nick Chubb by week 6.
Yeah. To basically just wait until Nick Chubb takes over because they both blew their hamstrings out.
Yeah. Hugh Jackson keeps those feet planted at Baker Mayfield, not taking snaps at the ones.
All right.
Not
There was this sweet thing I saw on Twitter where it's like, oh, Baker Mayfield throwing dimes to
To
Des
Des
Bryant.
Bryant,
And it's just a
and he just-
garbage pail.
Yeah, and he just fucking.
That's fucking
That killed
funny.
me today.
Yeah.
Funny. Hey, made the catch.
No, I will keep
Just like
saying it
Dez.
because
Unlike Dez, you mean?
I like Tyrod Taylor. I think he was getting insulted in Buffalo, how they
Yes.
wouldn't be committed to
100%,
him.
yes.
I think he'll be fine
Right,
in
They swapped him out with EJ
Cleveland.
Manuel, right?
No.
Yeah,
Nate Peterman.
no. Well, no, they brought in Nathan Peterman
After
after
Manuel
Tyrod.
got hurt.
Well, no, Manuel's in Oakland.
No,
Tyrod Taylor's shit. Who was
Last
it?
year?
No,
it was-
Tyrod started, and then Manuel started, and then got hurt.
No, they did that all year round. They've done it. Well, they drafted EJ Manuel in the first round because he had big hands. Then they,
You emphasize that's so funny.
because that's what they said during the draft. It's like, oh, it gets cold up in Buffalo, so we need a guy with big hands to throw the ball. It's like, what the fuck is wrong?
What?
Like, but he
You guys
sucks.
need Big Ben.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, we joke at that, but did they not do that again by taking Josh Allen?
That's true.
Did they not do the same fucking thing?
That's like,
hands,
oh, we
you know,
need a
they-
quarterback. Number one.
Yeah, and not only
However
that,
his hands.
I'm
they
pretty
gave
sure.
up a lot
Oh yeah.
to get Josh
I'm
Allen.
pretty sure.
Big hand,
Big
big hand
hands.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
I guess that's just the easier way of asking how big their dick is.
Very
It's
small.
like they got big hands. All right, you know what that means.
It's like the thing is with
let me show you my wife.
no with Tyrod. Yes, you're right. He has been one of these guys who has been underrated. I'm not giving that joke any.
Yeah.
any
Come on,
leeway.
Buffalo loves to get cocked.
You thought my joke.
The thing I want most out of football is Bills Mafia going through tables again. I need it in my life.
That's why they can never do good, because they're entertaining.
Hey man, wild card team last year. Product of the environment.
I think Tyrod does have a terrific will to win.
Yes.
I think giving him a Jarvis Landry, who's that kid on Hard Knocks that like who fucked up, and like he got like, have you watched Hard Knocks?
No.
All right, so one of their receivers got like busted for like having weed on him.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
Not it's not Josh Gordon.
No, but he was being mentored by Josh.
Yeah, he was.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon's like, I gotta stay clean. You
Following
do that.
very
You,
well.
go,
Yeah.
you do you. So yeah, whoever that kid is who had to play like I saw like they made him play every snap on the offense. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
That's Todd Haley. Josh Gordon being back and this three-headed running attack and having David Njoku as their tight end, it gives them a lot of weapons. It gives them a lot of options. But as we saw, just because you have a lot of talent doesn't make you any good.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I do give them credit for the running game because we saw how much a running game did for Philly last year.
Yeah.
And having Blunt and Ajayi.
Blunt, Smallwood, Ajayi, like 50 other running backs.
Yeah, a true like running back by committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Until they got Ajayi when he just took
Yeah,
over.
so I mean that could be a strength for the Browns. It's just like, as much as I like Tyrod Taylor, he isn't Carson Wentz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, as much like I said, my point I was getting to was that I like Tyrod Taylor. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's also going to be a Sam Bradford journeyman in his career.
Yeah.
Because I think if this team is not winning games by week 5 or 6, the fans are going to want Baker. Dorsey's going to start wanting Baker. Like, as a GM, you want to see your first-round guy play.
Yeah.
They're going to start pounding and be
And
like,
the-
Hugh, get him in there.
The Browns don't have quarterback patience.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
It's-
saying. They're going to want Baker.
They want Baker in there.
So it's going to remain to be seen,
Yeah.
And that's where predicting the schedule gets rough.
Right.
Because it's like,
You never know who's going to be.
are they going to start winning early and keep Tyrod in? Are they going to get 4 weeks in and people will start demanding Baker? When Baker comes in, is he ready to go in? Is he not going to be ready? I think Baker's a great quarterback. Is he ready? It remains to be seen.
I can't wait to see what happens when he gets into one of these
See?
fucking the North games against like Pittsburgh or Baltimore. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're going to go after him.
See,
See,
I
think Baker. I would love to see him start week 1, just so you could get that question out of the way. And if he starts doing bad by week 3, then you throw in Tyrod Taylor.
No, that kills the kid's confidence. You have to if you're gonna put him in, you have to let him play.
Baker is not going to play week 1.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm saying I know Tyrod
Oh,
is.
of
I'm
course.
saying I think it would be.
They're not even letting him take snaps with the first team.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw, NFL posted a video of Baker imitating John Dorsey.
Oh yeah.
It is so good. He's like sitting in the chair with the glasses and the sweater with the collar.
Right.
He's chewing the gum really loud. He's like, "Hey, buddy boy, He's like, if you want to be a Brown, it's not just about wearing this color, buddy boy.
Is it?
He's like, it's about being the elf. And he's just going, dude, it's great. I got to show you.
It is probably the easiest to be a Brown.
Okay, yeah.
I could be.
I've watched the first 2 episodes of Hard Knocks. I thought it was kind of fucking funny because, first off, they make their organization look like fucking chumps. They go send like 15 guys to pick up Baker Mayfield from the airport. Well, Nick Chubb just got there 5 minutes ago, and no one was there to meet him. It's like he's standing by baggage claim like they said they were going to come by 10.
Yeah.
It's now 11:30.
Wow.
If you like Hard Knocks, you would like the All or Nothing.
I don't.
series.
I don't like Hard Knocks because it's
Oh, okay.
it's either fake, it's either super fake, or like you just get a bad feeling from these coaches. Like I gotta like when they showed Hugh Jackson, his arms are all he's like super touchy with his players, and he's like kind of a passive aggressive dick, where he's like,
Well, that seems like a problem with the team, not the way.
yeah, but like, you need like either A, be a dick,
Yeah.
or be a bitch.
Yeah.
No offense, to
of
you know,
course.
whatever. But it's like Tom Coughlin won because
He was a dick.
he was a dick.
Yeah.
He walked into the Giants locker room and said, you got to be either 15 minutes. If you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're off the team."
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with if you're on
Then
time,
you know
you're
what?
late.
Look at his 2 Super Bowl rings and look at Jason Garrett's 0.
Well, that's unfair.
How is it unfair?
No, because I'm talking about like in general life. I don't like people that are like, if you're late, if you're on time, you're late. No, if I'm on time, I'm on time.
The man
motherfucker.
demanded
Respect and excellence.
and that's what he
And
got.
uniform.
Yep.
And, you know, and that's something I like. I'm seeing a bit of it in Shermer.
This is just the Giants podcast, baby.
Yeah, right. Well, it's gonna happen, you know. We have
Why am I
fandoms.
here?
He's like made a thing that's like clear visors only on the field.
Right.
Only exceptions if you have a condition. Well, that's a little uniform thing I
Yeah.
like. I don't like as much as I like Odell. I don't want him wearing fucking Joker face paint
Right, yeah.
visors on the fucking field. Like fuck that.
Does he have that?
He did.
He did,
He
yeah.
did. He had like a Why So Serious like visor.
Yeah.
When he was getting all the criticism, and he was kind of like
He's kind of
that was his response. He was
He was
like,
leaning into being
yeah,
the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, sorry. During Hard Knocks, they had a coaches meeting,
Yeah.
and Todd Haley, Greg Williams, and the whole team was there. And so Todd Haley came from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are a championship organization through and through. They, you walk in, you hold yourself like a champion no matter what the record is. Fucking this guy, fucking was it I forgot the fucking head coach of the Browns already. Hugh Jackson sitting at the head of the table. He's like, I understand what you're saying, but that's why I'm sitting at this seat and you're sitting at that seat. And you see Todd Haley grab his little fucking bucket hat and just like crumble it in his hands. It's like, motherfucker, I've won more games when I coached for the Chiefs than you ever did when you. Like my first season with the Chiefs, I've won more games than you
So
ever
funny.
thought of winning.
That's so funny. I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, like, but I keep going. Sorry. Because I'll talk to you after this. But like, I think if you like the whole documentary style thing, like, it's I think each season is like 8
Yeah.
episodes.
I feel
I
like
wanna,
they're holding back.
I want to stay on pace because we're about an hour in and we're
Okay.
finishing our first division here. So the Browns schedule-wise,
Okay.
I know you're all in on the Browns. I think you have a team
Kind
that
of.
went 0-16 last year. You have new offense to learn, a new system in place. I don't think you immediately become a playoff contending team. I think they win a few games this year, but I think they're set up for greatness in the few years coming. I think they're right along with the Bengals this year at 4-12. I think they beat the Jets, the Chargers, one against the Bengals, and the Broncos. I'm not high on the Broncos this year, in case you can't
No,
tell.
nobody is.
And I think they lose to the Steelers twice, the Saints, the Raiders, Ravens twice, Buccaneers, Steelers, Chiefs. Oh, I put Steelers 3 times, my bad. Chiefs, Falcons, Texans, Panthers, and Bengals. I think they don't really have an easy schedule. You have the Texans in there, the Falcons, the Saints, Steelers twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they have an easy schedule at all.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, a new system in place. You have a lot to learn. I don't think Baker plays this year, and if he does, it's going to be... I think Baker plays later in the season. I think they're losing these games. I think weeks between weeks 8 and 10, I think Baker Mayfield takes the field. Maybe even later. Maybe it's like a Jimmy G situation where maybe the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season he jumps in.
Yeah.
So that's me, 4-12 for the Browns. I know you're a little
Hold on.
separate from that. Doing a little math?
You want me to go?
Yeah. No, I got it. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I think they're going 16-0. I think they're totally turning the system around. Now
I think it's Browns Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
All in on that. No. So I actually, as much as I think that they're going to do good in their division, I have them going 7-9.
And that's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, I think they're going to do exceptionally better from last year, but I don't think that they're going to have a winning record. I think they're going to be close, but I have them beating the Jets. I have them beating Oakland, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Denver, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. And I have them losing to New Orleans, the Chargers, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Atlanta, Carolina, Cincinnati, and Houston.
Okay.
So
let me ask you, if they go 7-9, you think Hugh Jackson keeps his job?
Yes.
You think so?
He'd have to.
He'd have to.
Yeah,
you can't go 0-16 and then go to 700%
better than you did the year before.
Yeah.
I feel like
because then it will show that it was the additions of the other coaches that kind of took everything kind of off of him. Mm-hmm. Because if you go say they go 1-15, right? Hypothetically they go 1-15.
Yeah.
And you can see that their offense is there, but their defense isn't there. Then it's not really the head coach's fault. Or if it's the offensive play calling that's throwing the games for them, and their defense is doing well, but their offense isn't scoring any points, they're not catching up to leads, then it's the offensive coordinator and the playbook. You can't really blame the head coach for that. I
feel like it's such a small margin, but if I was John Dorsey, I'd want to see at least 8-8.
No.
I would want to see at least. I don't want a losing record.
I would
say at least split.
I could see them going 5-10 and him still having a job. Anything lower than 5-10, I think that they won't have a job. That he won't have a job.
You think if they go 5-10, he'll still have a job?
Yeah, because I think that it shows more
Pat
promise
Shermer
than last year.
got 9 wins for the Browns and was fired as the head coach.
At that time, they didn't fully give up.
Yeah, that's true. A different GM.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But also, they didn't
that.
last year. They kind of knew that they were shit, and they were like, "Let's see what we could do in the offseason." If you go 0-16 and then bounce back and win 5 games, they do have a tough schedule. Their schedule is kind of tough. So for them to get 5 wins off the easier teams, you can't expect, with all the pressure Tyrod's having Baker Mayfield, who's fucking exceptionally great in college.
He knew what he was getting into.
No, I know.
Maybe it's 7-9.
Playing...
Hugh Jackson gets him 2 to 3 years, and it's you've got a young team.
Yeah. I think that
if you don't have a record by the end of this, get out.
If they go 7-9 and then the next year they don't go 8-8 or 9-7, he's out. I think he has 1 year to prove that they're gonna get better and better.
Yeah.
But I think that this year
it's like a prove it deal after the prove it deal.
Yeah. This is kind of just
let's see what to get kind of another.
He essentially what's going on is the GM's we gave you everything that you need right now. Show us what you could do. Mm-hmm. If you can't do anything with this, then you're gone, and we'll find somebody else to take over this ship that should be sailing so much better than what you're sailing at.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm fair with that.
Ready?
Bri, I'm ready for you with the Browns.
I see them
1-15.
Close. I see them go starting. So they're starting off against Pittsburgh, then New Orleans, New York, Oakland, Baltimore. I see them losing all those games.
Okay.
I see them firing Hugh Jackson right before the Chargers game.
Which week?
That's week 6.
You think week 6 by then he's out of a job?
He's out of the job. Todd Haley takes over. Tyrod's still a starting quarterback. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Bucks. Pittsburgh comes in. They lose. They lose to Kansas City. They lose to Atlanta.
I like this though. You're getting specific and you're dropping heat.
They have the bye week, and at the bye week they go, it's Baker's time. So then Baker gets.
So you think they start winning games and then put Baker in?
No, they win 2 games.
Oh, okay. I thought you said they won one.
Because of the culture change.
Yeah.
But they immediately have to play Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's a better team.
Yeah.
So if you switched it, if Kansas City came in before Pittsburgh, I see them winning 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine.
So you think they kind of win? Oh no, you think coming off the Steelers game they lose to Kansas City?
I don't think they beat the Chargers if they fire their coach and
no, I see an upswing of morale.
Teams do rally.
Yeah, because if you're off to a 5-0 start and you know that Todd Haley doesn't take shit.
You remember when the Dolphins brought in Dan Campbell as the head coach and that team started winning?
Yep.
The Giants won.
They won when they
Spagnuolo became the head coach.
Exactly.
When there's a culture, there's like a rally.
Yep. They rally around.
Yeah. Morale is raised.
Morale boost.
Yeah, you guys lost. You guys swept Dallas this year, right?
No.
No.
We didn't even come close to. We only had 3 wins, and they were not against anyone.
No. We lost to you guys week 1.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You lost your...
It was demoralizing. I was sitting across from you on the couch, and you had this smug fucking grin on your face the whole game.
Yeah.
So,
because I always love that Andrew, like, yes, it's football season, Giants looking good, and then as soon as they start losing, it's just like you slowly start to see it through.
All right, so I
didn't even know what I was in store for.
Well, you guys played Dallas after you guys fired McAdoo, right? We played you the next game.
I'd have to look at the schedule.
I believe that. Yeah.
All right, continue, Brian.
All right, so like I said, they lose to the Steelers and they lose to the Chiefs right away. They play a good game against Atlanta and they go into the bye. They make a change of quarterback. Baker plays Cincinnati. He loses to Houston. They lose to the Panthers, then they beat the Broncos, they beat the Bengals, and they beat the Ravens in the season.
Do you think he turns around and
he turns it around? So that's
and then
5 wins.
People get high on him going into next year
because he'll have enough smack in his face.
Yeah.
He'll bounce back, and with that good of a team, that will help him.
See, I can see them beating Cincinnati, and everyone goes, "Oh, it's Baker's time now," and then he loses those next 3 games.
I see.
You know what I mean? And everyone's like, "Oh God."
I think this first Cincinnati game will be won by a field goal.
Okay.
It'll be a close game because it's Baker's first game out.
Okay.
So there might be a mistake later, and then it'll be a missed field goal by Cleveland.
Okay.
And then I think they'll go on after they lose to the Panthers, they go on a 3-game winning streak to end their season.
All right.
So it's like 5 wins.
So to wrap up the AFC North, if you want to guys, do you have your standings listed? Because I was going to give I have a gist of mine. Yeah. So to wrap up my AFC North, I think Steelers win it at 11-5, Ravens 9-7, Bengals and Browns both 4-12.
Yeah,
so I have Pittsburgh at 12-4, Ravens at 8-8, Cleveland at 7-9, and Cincinnati at 6-10.
So we're all in agreement that the Steelers again just mosey on it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Agree.
Okay, now let's head to the NFC North.
Hit that snooze button. We're going back to bed, baby.
Oh yeah.
Actually, the AFC North was kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's a little more exciting. Yeah. There's a lot of changes.
Once you break it down.
So NFC North, we'll start with the Vikings, winners of the division last year, 13-3.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it's like it's a pretty different team this year.
Is it a fluke? Was it just because Rodgers was hurt all year? Was it? What kind of Vikings team are we going to get now?
Well, we have a new offensive coordinator coming in.
Mm-hmm.
The former Eagles quarterback coach, John DeFilippo, will now be taking over as offensive duties, of course taking over for Pat Shurmur.
Right.
Now you have Kirk Cousins with the big money deal in the offseason. 3 years, $84 million.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Whew, Jesus. Sheldon Richardson on the Vikings, defensive tackle, 1 year, $8 million.
Okay.
Tavares King, wide receiver, 1 year, $880,000. I think a very underrated receiver. I was sad when the Giants didn't use him more. And then Stephon Diggs re-signed, 5 years, $72 million.
Okay. Wow.
You see that and you got to think Odell's gonna be getting some big money whenever that goes through. That was a big talk was when Stephon Diggs, everyone goes, Mara really wants to outprice himself in this, doesn't he? Of course, with the draft, they took. I guess I rushed through this. I did not write their positions. 30th overall, round 1, Mike Hughes. Second round, 62 overall, Brian O'Neill. For some reason, I did not write their positions.
That's okay.
So
O'Neill's a left tackle.
Yeah.
And Hughes, you said?
Yes, Mike Hughes.
I think he might be on defense.
Probably defense because their offense is not bad. They have
he's a cornerback.
Okay, yeah. So they kind of went for defensive improvements.
Defense a little bit.
Personally, I think they take a step back this year. You don't have that high-powered offense anymore because you don't have the same playbook. It's like we said with so many of these teams, it's a new system to learn and a new quarterback in place. So you have to develop that chemistry with Cousins, with Diggs, and Thielen, and all these guys. Also, they don't have an easy schedule.
Nope.
You got to play the Packers twice a year. You have to play the Rams, the Eagles, the Patriots. It's not super hard, but you do have a lot of crucial teams in there.
Ooh. All right, so check this 3-game set out. November 25th, December 2nd, and December 10th. So that's pretty late in the season. You got Green Bay, New England, and Seattle.
Yeah, back to back to back. And then you're talking late season Seattle.
Yeah.
That's unfair.
Which is brutal. I personally think Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. I'd put him maybe like 13th to 15th best quarterback.
Jalen Ramsey thinks he's a winner, even though he hasn't won anything big in any one of his years.
I mean, he very well could be. He could be a product of a Redskins team that,
had nothing.
Yeah. So it remains to be seen. But
yeah, he now has targets.
Personally, looking at their schedule, weighing in the new system, new quarterback, new everything to go over, I think they slip a bit this year. I think they go 8-8.
Whoa.
I think.
I don't know about that.
I have them beating. They beat the Bears twice in the division, lose to the Packers twice, and split with the Lions. And I think they beat the Bills, Cardinals, Jets, Lions, Bears twice. I think they beat the Pats, and I think they beat Miami. And then I have them losing to the Niners, the Packers twice, the Rams, the Eagles, the Saints, the Seahawks, and the Lions. One to the Lions.
Okay.
And I think all those pretty good teams that they lose to.
I have them going 11-5.
Okay.
I have them beating the 49ers, beating Green Bay, beating Buffalo, beating the Jets, Detroit, Chicago. I have them also beating New England. I think they pull one out against Seattle, which I think is going to be close.
Yeah.
They win against Miami, Detroit, and Chicago. I have them losing to the Rams, Philly, Arizona, New Orleans, and Green Bay.
I see them beating... I see an early season rush.
Yeah.
I see them beating San Francisco, Green Bay, Buffalo, and Philadelphia early. I think because it's Philadelphia's at home, I think it could sneak it out.
What week is that?
That's week 5.
You think Wentz will be back?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wentz, I think, will be back
by like week 3 or 4.
I think he's like week 2 or week 3.
I think you have a team.
Right now, I think he's just questionable for week 1.
Okay, because that all depends too. I mean, I could easily see them if Wentz isn't back. I could give them 9-7. I just think they definitely take a step back this year.
No, yeah,
You know?
I mean, like I agree. I think they're gonna lose to New Orleans. They're gonna lose at least once to Detroit because they always do. They'll lose to Green Bay. They'll lose to New England. They'll lose to Seattle. I think Miami will beat them.
Okay.
Just as like a wild, like what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Give them a 10-6.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Okay.
I see them being in it.
So I'm 8-8. You're 10-6.
Yeah. 11-5.
Okay. So I mean, you guys are a little more
It's tough.
agreement than I am.
It's tough because they've got Mike Zimmer as their coach,
Mhm.
and they got and Kirk Cousins now has actual options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
That's the
Pierre
thing,
Garçon.
like, they are making changes,
Yeah.
but they're still a really good team.
Yeah.
It-
So you
it's-
can't really be like,
Yeah.
they're making so many changes, they're going to suck shit. Like,
Well,
And they-
no,
and
I
they
just
have
think it's a
Dalvin
lot
Cook,
to
yeah.
adjust to. And
I feel like the changes that they made were positive changes,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be like, oh, we're in some deep shit, we really need to make some changes. It's
No,
more
of
like,
course.
all right, we did good this season, let's
You
make
just
a
have
few
to-
things
I
to
mean-
build things up.
yeah, you have to also hope that they're. I mean, like we said with last year with Pat Shurmur as offensive coordinator, it's like with him being gone, that's a major piece gone.
Right.
He that's their playbook. You know what I mean?
I
That
also
was Case
don't-
Keenum.
I also don't think you need that great of a coordinator when you have. They had 3 of their quarterbacks get hurt before they got to Case Keenum.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
had, what was it? They had Bridgewater, Bradford,
Mhm.
and I think there was another Stanton. was with
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
And then Case Keenum came
Yeah.
in.
But I mean, just as a guy coming in as a quarterback coach to be an offensive coordinator,
Right.
I mean, if he's not a good offensive coordinator, there's going to be problems. I mean, I think he is a good offensive coordinator. I think he'll be fine. But, it'll remain to be seen.
Yeah.
And it's interesting now having an Eagles QB coach coaching Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, maybe I'm a little more aggressive. Also, it gets interesting now in the part with my research because this is the 4th division we're doing. This is about halfway.
Right.
And now, like, when I look, like, I say, okay, they're playing the Bills, the Jets. I have to go back and look at what did I say because I want to stay consistent. So, like, it becomes that happened to me. We'll get to it later with the Bears, where I looked and when I did my research, I go, wow, I think the Bears are actually going to be a good team this year. Oh shit, I had a lot of teams beating them. Yeah. So we'll get there, but you guys are in more of an agreement. They have a little bit more of a winning season. I think they have an average one. I think they're another team, another year or two. I think they'll be back to being really good.
I think they're like a wild
I
card.
Yeah.
see that. I see them in Dallas playing a wild card game.
Yeah.
In Minnesota. Well, no, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be playing against each other. I'm saying
Yeah.
like.
I think they'll definitely be in the
They'll-
wild card. hunt.
yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so we'll move on to the Lions. Lions are going to be a fun team to talk about.
Why the
because
Lions?
The Lions have a new head coach in Matt Patricia,
Oh.
coming from the Patriots.
I got called that at the bar
Matt
in
Patricia?
Boston. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Like somebody came up to me and he's like, "Man, you look exactly like Matt Patricia." I'm blanking on the face, and he's like, "The guy he used to be with the Patriots."
I'm sure you've seen a picture of him since.
Oh no, because remember when we did the podcast a few
I was
months ago.
joking, saying I can't handle Mikey as the coach of the Giants.
Oh, okay.
Well, because it was rumored we might hire Matt Patricia. And I was like, I
okay.
can't handle having Mikey as our
Yeah.
coach. I can't look at that.
Yeah. Well, I would have tanked your season. So
Yeah, exactly.
No, just kidding.
Now, the Lions are interesting because it's kind of a complete overhaul as far as coaching goes. You have Matt Patricia at head coach. They did retain their defensive coordinator, Paul. Oh, no. I'm sorry. They retained their offensive coordinator. Defense is new. Paul Pasqualoni. Hardest name I'll have to pronounce today. And the offensive coordinator was still my favorite name in the NFL, Jim Bob Cooter.
Hey, Jim Bob.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Matt Patricia had to keep him on board.
That's right.
So they re-signed Ziggy Ansah, 1 year, $17 million. Of course, he had a great season last year, destroyed Eric Flowers, but who hasn't? Signed Devon Kennard as a linebacker, 3 years, $17 million,
Sure.
8.5 guaranteed.
Pay the man if you
Which
want.
I was like, really? Signed
it's not your
tight
money.
end Luke Wilson, 1 year, $2.5 million. LeGarrette Blount, running back, signed 1 year, $2 million.
They're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's how it's gone.
First round in the draft, 20th overall, Frank Ragnow, center from Arkansas.
Okay.
And second round, 43rd overall was Kerryon Johnson, running back from Auburn.
His name's Carry On.
Kerryon.
Carry On, a running back?
Yeah, right?
Carry On.
Great.
Carry on with you and son.
A lot of people didn't like that pick. A lot of people thought they should really take defensive,
Yeah.
and they went for a running back. Everyone was like, fucking really? So that remains interesting. It's interesting because the Lions I got to watch, because they played the Giants this week in preseason. I caught that game. Stafford's always Stafford. He's a great quarterback. I don't know how I feel about the Lions this year, man. I mean, it's preseason, you can't judge a preseason team. But, like, from what I saw from the starters, what I saw was, like, okay. I didn't think it set the world on fire.
No.
I think Matt Patricia is a little bit overrated just because of the system he came from.
But he is.
Where
he
Bill
was playing
Belichick is a
underneath-
very defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
And he does come from that tree now. And you kind of hope he has the same results.
You kind of think that after spending those years with New England, he learned from the best coach in
That's
the
what I'm
league.
saying. You would hope.
So it's like you would think that he would run his team essentially kind of the same way.
Name
But
a successful disciple of
you have-
Bill Parcells. Name one that's come.
I don't know
No, I'm
who's
sorry. Bill Belichick. Name one coach that's come from Bill Belichick, and that has had success. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Because McDaniels had a god-awful stint with the
Charlie
Broncos.
Weiss, who sucked.
Yeah.
Romeo Cornell did not do well. Scott Paoli for the Chiefs was the GM. They had one okay season.
Yeah.
You have, not a lot of these guys. Not a lot of these Belichick guys do well.
It scares me with Patricia. I don't know.
They'll
I mean,
look-
I'd love to see him break the mold. I think he's a great dude.
I don't think. I think they're all spies sent out to just tank the rest of the league.
Yeah.
For Bill.
Well, except Josh McDaniels.
Josh
'cause
McDaniels
They,
too.
they wouldn't. They fucked the Colts.
He is too afraid to leave. Like
Yeah.
he fucked so many people over.
Did the Colts play the Pats this year? They do.
I think so,
They
yeah.
do. Oh, I hope the Colts destroy him, bro.
Ah.
I hope Andrew Luck does the Baker Mayfield on the sideline, right in McDaniel's face.
He'd just be like, "Good game, good game,
Um,
everybody."
Yeah.
What's interesting to me is that you would think they would try to, get some defensive improvements, being a defensive head coach, coming into an offense-heavy team, and that's another thing that worries me. I mean, it's going to remain interesting. Granted, you have a good offense with the same offensive coordinator,
Right.
but you have a new defensive head coach and a defensive coordinator. So hopefully they find a way with this defense. Gave up a disgusting touchdown to Wayne Gallman, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you're letting Wayne Gallman get by your first teams, I don't know. I have them actually also like neck and neck with the Vikings. I had them also 8-8.
Okay.
The Lions.
I have them in
I
A as
think
well.
they split with the Bears. I have them splitting with everyone in their division. I think they win one against the Packers, one against the Bears, and one against the Vikings. And then I think on top of that they beat the Jets. I think they beat the Seahawks, the Panthers, and the Cardinals and the Bills. And I think they lose to the Niners, the Pats, Cowboys, one to the Packers, Dolphins, one to the Vikings, the Rams, and one to the Bears.
I have them beating the Jets, San Francisco, Miami, Chicago, North Carolina, Chicago again, Arizona, and Buffalo. And I have them losing against the Pats, Dallas, Green Bay, Seattle, Minnesota, Rams, Minnesota, and Green Bay.
What's the overall record on that?
8-8.
Okay, yeah, so we're both in like an
we're
8
both
and
8 and 8. Yeah. I think they win against different teams.
Yeah.
Kind of like from you, but that's pretty much like about it.
How long has Matt Stafford been in the league?
4 or 5 years. I think.
No, it's been longer than that.
I'm
8
dumb.
maybe.
Yeah, man, it sounds about
It's been
8.
that long.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm old.
I think he was.
I'm old.
I think he was like 2010, 2011.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You know what? Like when it comes to football, like I
might be
always
09.
football and baseball are the two sports where I remember players coming into the league, but
Yeah.
it seems so much
So weird
sooner
now. Yeah.
than how long it's been. Like
Yeah.
Stafford, that blows my mind.
Like
that
even
he's been in
watching
the league
guys
for 10
like
years.
Urlacher and like
Oh yeah.
Ray Lewis going to the Hall
Ray
this
Lewis.
year, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He's been in 10 years.
Randy Moss.
Terrell-
10 years.
Terrell
Okay, yeah.
Owens.
Also, he was 2008. Okay.
Terrell Owens too for me.
Yeah.
Like fucking watching him fucking run on the Dallas Star after scoring a touchdown with the Eagles.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I remember
who's the 49ers?
with the 49ers. Sorry, you're right. He also did it with the Eagles, but he did it in the end zone star, not the center star.
Yeah, 'cause he's gonna get
Brian,
thrown.
how you feeling about the Lions?
All right. I mean,
Yeah,
I see them going kind of like I see them beating the Jets. I see them losing to San Francisco, losing to New England. Dallas is kind of up in the air. I see them maybe losing to Dallas. I see them beating Green Bay at home. I see
What
them,
week did they play Dallas?
Week 3. Oh, I'm sorry, week 4.
Ooh.
I see them beating Miami, beating Seattle, beating Chicago twice, and then beating Buffalo, obviously, and yeah, everyone they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose to Green Bay. They're gonna lose to Minnesota once, and they'll lose to Carolina and the Rams. And I think that's 8-8.
Yeah, like we're all in the middle of the road about the Lions.
I was telling Andrew. I think that when it comes to them playing Dallas week 4 is when David Irving comes back from suspension, and the same thing happened to him last year where he was suspended for the first 4 games, came back and lit up with 3 sacks.
He
Like
may
first
have
game.
a problem if he got suspended 8 games in 2 years.
He got suspended for PEDs
Yep,
last year.
I guess he has a problem.
But this year he got suspended for weed.
Yeah.
So it's like,
He's got a problem.
well, he probably does.
See, it's so interesting to me going through this North because I feel like every team is kind of has an overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
Like every team has a new offensive coordinator in the North.
Yeah.
All of them. And you got new quarterbacks in Vikings. You got a new head coach in the Lions. You have a new GM in the Packers. Like it changes all around. So this is a really interesting division. But I mean, we're all kind of in agreement with the Lions. I don't think they're going to set the world on fire this year. They're in a transitional year.
I see them being just good enough to everyone to keep their jobs.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go on to a more exciting team to talk about. The
Packers.
Packers. Yeah,
Oh.
the Packers. We're getting there.
I tasted exciting. I was like, the
Yeah.
Bears.
Well, I mean, the Packers came in third in last year at 7-9.
Because Aaron Rodgers got
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers got
spiked.
hurt. Yeah. And what was the backup's name? That was like chasing him on the cart.
Oh, was it Hundley?
Yeah, Brett Hundley.
Yeah.
Just like, please don't be hurt. I'm not ready.
I'm not ready for this.
They made a big move with Deshaun Kaiser coming
Oh
in.
yeah, they're bringing him in.
Yeah.
So Packers 7-9 last year. New GM. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. Bryan Gutekunst.
Good cunts?
Gutekunst. Gutekunst.
That's
Gutekunst.
That's good cunts.
Good
That's
cunts.
good cunts.
Good cunts.
Good cunts.
So rape jokes, good cunts, and
Matt
Can't-
Patricia.
you can't
you said something else that was bad.
Something about cancer.
Yeah, it's like cancer
Oh,
jokes. Defensive coordinator Mike Patine and offensive coordinator Joe Philbin.
Regis'
Joe
brother.
Philbin?
Yeah.
The old Miami Dolphins coach?
He's the offensive coordinator now
Regis'
for
brother.
Packers.
It's not.
Devontae Adams re-signed 4 years, $58 million, $30 guaranteed.
That's good.
Corey Linsley, center, 3 years, $25 million, $15 guaranteed.
Okay.
Jimmy Graham coming to the Packers.
Love it.
I think it's 3 years, $30 million, $11 guaranteed. Muhammad Wilkerson,
Big Mo.
defensive end, 1 year, $5 million, 1.5 guaranteed. Cornerback Tremont Williams, 2 years, $10 million, 4.7 guaranteed. And draft first round, 18th overall, Jair Alexander, cornerback from Louisville, and second round, 45th overall, Josh Jackson, cornerback from Iowa. So really revamping the defense. I mean, that was their bugaboo.
Yeah.
As long as Rodgers is healthy, he'll get the ball to a fucking lazy boy at the 10-yard line. Like, it doesn't matter who your receivers are when Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball. You now add Jimmy Graham to that. Sure, you lost Jordy Nelson, but I think with with guys like Devontae Adams and Jimmy Graham,
Jordy Nelson needed Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers
exactly.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers kind of did the same thing what Tom Brady does with his receivers, where Jordy Nelson was good because he had Aaron Rodgers throwing to him.
Yeah.
I think he's still a good player, but the reason why he was so big was because Aaron Rodgers was
sometimes
there.
Sometimes the quarterback makes the receiver.
That's why James Jones is now retired, because he's like, if I'm out in the free agent market, no one's going to sign me.
So I think that this is a big year for the Packers.
Oh, yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers is getting to that point where, I mean, you saw it in preseason. It came out where he was kind of going off on wide receivers for dropping balls. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers wants to fucking win this year.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's looking at it. He says, I think he looks at it and he goes, I know I'm fucking good at football. I should have more than one Super Bowl ring. He's ready to go out there and win.
I think he should.
I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder because I think he was kind of annoyed about the Jordy Nelson thing. He was annoyed that they didn't consult him about it. I mean, that would be like if the Giants traded Beckham and they was like, oh, fuck Eli, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. Wow. It would be like if they went to, what's his name, Andy Dalton, they were like, oh, AJ Green, my bad, we should have let you know. It's like you have a relationship with that guy. I think he's a little annoyed at that, but I think he's got that chip on his shoulder. He's like, I want to fucking win. And you're seeing it come out of the guy.
Minnesota put it there. So.
Also because he knows that, I mean, the Packers were doing great last year until his injury.
They were riding high.
Didn't he curse out the guy who injured him?
Yeah.
Didn't he get up and he's like, fuck you, and got off the field?
Yeah.
So I have the Packers this year at 12-4. With a healthy Aaron Rodgers, I think they are taking on the world this year.
Who do you have them losing to?
I think they lose one to the Lions. I think they lose to the Rams, the Pats, and the Falcons, and beat everybody else.
I see them beating New England.
Yeah, I mean they could. It's one of those up in the air games.
They're at New England.
I could see maybe a lost regular season.
No, they're at New England.
They're at New England on a night game.
No, they're not winning.
They're not going to win that game.
So I have.
I mean, besides that, sorry to cut you off. It's they're playing the Lions, they're playing the Bills, they're playing the Redskins. Excuse me, they're playing the Jets. They're playing a Cardinals team that I don't think is going to be solid this year. I think they're going to be like middle of the road, and they're playing. I think they could win a lot of these games.
Yeah, see that.
Aaron Rodgers is fired up.
I agree. I agree with this new offense, with this new defense. I think they should be like the only thing that could get in their way is them.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
I agree.
So I think they lose to the Vikings, the Rams, New England, and Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I think they beat Chicago, Washington, Buffalo, Detroit, San Fran, Miami, Seattle, Minnesota, Atlanta, Chicago.
I feel bad
Giants
for
the Jets and the Detroit.
I feel bad for the Jets that if they even have any semblance of like we might make the fucking playoffs this year, they have to play in one of the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
So it's like Aaron Rodgers is going to be decking people.
Like I said, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see a lot of the Jets in the playoffs. I think this is not the year.
Not this year.
This for the Jets reminds me of the year when what's his fucking name? The guy who was playing that we benched in the end of the year for Eli.
Gino?
No, the guy from he was on the Rams.
Kurt
Warner. Yeah.
Warner.
And the name escaped me for some reason. I think it's going to be like that, where I think you're going to see a lot of McCown, and I think honestly they use Bridgewater as a trade piece.
Yeah.
They're showing him off in preseason, be like, this guy looks real good, but they know the future is Darnold.
Yeah. I mean, look with the Packers. Let's just keep it on them. They got a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
They now knock down like Randall Cobb's now the 3rd option on the offense.
Right.
That's so much. And then now they have a running game with Williams and Jones, and now Ty Montgomery could be a gadget player.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
Yeah, and
plus the best name for a fullback, Ripkowski.
Yeah.
Get it out of here.
And like from the Aaron Rodgers we've seen from the past few years of like relax, We got this. We're under control.
I think he'll
this
be a
year
little
he's
bit
like,
more.
catch the fucking ball.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Jesus, man. All right.
There's no
you know
more
what I mean?
no more Mr. Relax. We got this.
Yeah, now it's like
if they don't make the playoffs.
now it's like strap in. We fucking got this.
Here's my bold proclamation. If by some chance Green Bay Packers miss the playoffs by a game or anything, Aaron Rodgers is going to walk up to the Green Bay management and say, "Fire Mike McCarthy. I want a new head coach."
Yeah.
I think McCarthy's out, and someone will come in and take over.
How much longer do you think Aaron Rodgers has left in?
If he stays healthy, I think another 8 years. I could see
Quarterbacks are playing late.
Yeah.
You look at
I know.
you look at Breeze Manning. I don't know what his actual age is. He's early 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. 32 maybe. 31.
And he's a resilient guy, but I mean, he probably sees himself as his clock is ticking.
And that's why I think another reason he's fired up.
He's 34 years old.
Okay.
He doesn't have a lot of time left.
Yeah. That's another.
Yeah.
There you go. I think he's in a similar situation where Flacco's at, where I think where he's like,
but he doesn't.
I don't know how much longer I got.
He doesn't have somebody like hounding him over
Yeah,
the
it's
shoulder.
for different reasons, but I think they're both fired up.
He sees that it's like his career could end up like how Favre's career could end up. It's like
Exactly.
they're going to draft another quarterback.
Yeah.
So I want to win now. I want to win often.
Exactly.
So if they don't make the playoffs, or if they lose in the first round, or
He's either gonna say fire Mike McCarthy
Or
or
trade
trade me.
yeah,
Yeah.
trade him to
And you're
the
not
Cowboys
gonna trade Aaron Rodgers.
for Dak Prescott.
There you go.
Would you make that deal?
Aaron Rodgers
a 36-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Probably. I would do that. Wait, for Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott in a third round pick.
Aaron Rodgers.
See, short term, that's a Super Bowl for us. Long term, that's not a Super Bowl. That's not any more Super Bowls for
Imagine
a while.
that they say, "Fuck Alex Smith, we want Aaron Rodgers." The Redskins. I'd be so horrified. Like, not my fucking division. Get him out of here.
Oh yeah, I don't.
We
want
won't make the same mistake San Francisco will make. We'll
No,
So-
I don't think I would take that trade.
Yeah, Packers. I think are fucking right up there this year with
Yeah.
the teams everyone's predicting, like the Rams and Jacksonville. And I think Packers are right there.
Yeah, I see the
And
Packers.
I think they're a bit of a sleeper because I think people are looking at teams like Rams and Jacksonville that were in the playoffs last year, Saints, and I think people are sleeping on the Packers just because they were 7-9 last year because they had an injured Aaron Rodgers.
The old sheriff's
People
back in
forget what they
town,
can do.
baby.
The one thing I will say, another piece they kind of lost is Richard Rodgers,
The tight end.
the one who fucking Rodgers to Rodgers with like all those Hail Marys.
Yeah.
But he wasn't good because
No,
Eli.
He's on Philly now.
Eli
Yeah.
App.
Yeah.
look,
Eli to Eli.
he's
Eli's getting picked off by his own team now.
God
Or was
damn
it Manning to Manningham?
Yeah, Manning
That
to
was
Yeah,
it.
Manning to
That was
Manningham.
it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Look, I think
Eli to Eli Apple. He's a
a
defender.
lot of guys.
So I said his own
I'm
team's
an
picking him
idiot.
off now.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are made by Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Who was his guy before Jordy Nelson? Like who was
James Jones,
Yeah.
Greg Jennings.
Yeah, Greg Jennings was a big one.
What's his? Oh, that other fucking guy, Donald Driver.
Yeah, Donald
that's
Driver.
right.
That was him.
I still remember Greg Jennings is the toughest motherfucker in Madden.
Yeah.
Broke his leg. He's running 95 yards.
Got the team on his back, though. Greg fucking Jennings. Fuck you, Gumby. The guy just leaves the party. All right, now we got the fucking Bears to wrap it all up, baby.
The Bears.
5-11 last year.
Much
We
of the same.
got a new coach in Matt Nagy. The bold offensive coordinator move, taking the head coach from Oregon, Mark Helfrich.
Okay.
So
I like the Ducks.
yeah,
I like the Ducks.
Ducks, baby.
Ducks are my second favorite college football.
Actually-
Ducks, Fox.
Them Ducks.
That's their logo.
they
Ducks
fly
fuck.
together.
All right, a little bit of off-season moves. Re-signed Kyle Fuller, cornerback, 4 years, $56 million. Marcus Cooper, cornerback, 1 year, $1.5 million. And Prince of Mukamara, 3 years, $27 million.
My dude.
And Allen Robinson.
Yeah, well, that's I was doing re-signs.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so free agency. Allen Robinson, wide receiver, 3 years, $42 million.
Okay.
Taylor Gabriel from the Falcons, 4 years, $26 million. Trey Burton, tight end, 4 years, $32 million. And Cody Parkey, kicker, making that money, 4 years, $15 million. And then in the draft, 8th overall, they took Roquan Smith, linebacker. I love that move. Thought it was good for them. I think we all predicted that in the draft.
Yeah.
Second round, 39th overall, they took James Daniels, center from Iowa. And 51st overall second round, they took Anthony Miller, a wide receiver from Memphis. Now, in my scheduling, I was low on the Bears.
Okay.
Looking at it, I think they're a little better than I had them. Because, like I said, I had them losing to a lot of teams, and I'm going to stick to what I said. But I'm looking and I'm going, oh, well, they actually have a pretty solid secondary that they're, making sure they take care of. They don't have that bad of an offensive line, I don't think. And they have a replenished receiving core in, Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller. My problem is I am not high on the fucking quarterback.
Mitch Trubisky.
Not high on him.
The Trubiscuit.
I don't think he's high. I'm sorry, I don't think he's high.
He might be.
I'm getting tired. It's like 12:30 in the morning. I had a long day. I don't think he's the guy. And I think the biggest mistake the Bears have made was not taking
Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people's fault.
Yeah.
They should have taken Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. And I think that is a blunder that the franchise will have to face for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys ever heard. I heard this last week. Because in college, Nick Saban in Alabama had 6 weeks to prepare to face Deshaun Watson.
Right.
And they couldn't do it. And Nick Saban went on record and said, if you pass on this guy in the draft, you're passing on Michael Jordan. He's the guy.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
But
It's Nick Saban.
Yeah, of course. And you can never take it, but I mean, still, when Alabama's defense couldn't stop him in college,
Alabama was.
he looked real good
Yeah.
in the
Alabama's
games
a
he
real
played,
good
as long as
team,
he could
too.
stay healthy. And I don't think Mitch Trubisky, I think, is good, not great. And I don't think the Bears are going to set the world on fire this year. I do think there's going to be a culture change. A new head coach. They might surprise some people. This is the one that I think I might regret because I went a little lower on them. I think they might be a little higher than I had them. I had them at 5-11. I think they had a bad year.
Okay.
Stayed
where they were.
I think basically they went exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think they lose twice to the Packers and split with the Lions and Vikings. I think on top of that, I think they lose to the Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, Bills, like they lose to the whole AFC East, Giants and Rams. And I think they beat Seattle, Cardinals, Buccaneers, 49ers, and won against the Lions.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had them losing to the Vikings twice.
Gotcha. I have them going 6-10.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. They win against Tampa Bay, Miami, the Jets, Buffalo, the Giants, and San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
I think they lose to Green Bay, Seattle, Arizona, New England, Detroit, Minnesota, Detroit again, Carolina, Green Bay, and Minnesota. So it's going to be. They kind of have a tough schedule, especially because they're in the lower end of their division. So the fact that they have to play the three other teams twice, it's like that's
they
6
do,
losses.
but with new playbooks, a guy like Allen Robinson on your team, Taylor Gabriel, Roquan Smith on defense.
Allen Robinson's come back from a knee injury.
So who knows? But if he could stay healthy,
Yeah.
if everyone's healthy on this team, I can easily see them maybe going like 9-7. You know what I mean? They're kind of a wild card. I don't think they're going to be in the playoffs by any means, but they could go, like I said, 5-11, 9-7, anywhere in between.
I see them losing to Green Bay.
Yeah.
I see them losing to Seattle. I see them beating Arizona and Tampa Bay back to back. I see them beating Miami after the bye, which is awful to have to bye that early.
Yeah.
Then they lose to New England. They lose to the Jets. They beat Buffalo. Lose to Detroit. Lose to Minnesota. Oh, Detroit and that's a terrible schedule.
I like the like the live schedule up.
Whoever made the schedule is a fucking doofus.
There's a lot of weird fucking schedules this year.
Yeah, there were I think it was them that they played Detroit twice in like 3
in a
weeks.
week.
In a week,
yeah.
They played Detroit, then they played
Minnesota
and then Detroit
I think
again.
we play Washington really close to each other.
I think it's like 3 weeks apart.
Yeah.
I think.
All right, so
we play you guys like week 2 and then week 17.
I should have picked
16,
that. I should have picked that up when I was doing the line schedule.
Well, it was the
But
last
like,
game.
what is it? So I see.
Not 17.
I see them losing to Detroit
17 weeks of football.
the first
We have a
game.
bye. It's 16 games.
You're right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I
I
see them.
keep forgetting about the bye. Sorry. Continue.
I see them losing to Detroit in the first game, and I see them beating Detroit in the second game. I see them beating the Giants. and then they lose the rest of the way out. I see them losing to the Rams, Packers, San Fran, and Minnesota.
Yeah, and they definitely have a tough schedule.
Yeah.
I feel like every team we've looked at is either playing like the Rams, the Jaguars, or like the Falcons. Like every fucking team is playing one of them.
Okay, who's the offensive coordinator for the Bears again?
The Bears,
Yeah.
Oregon head coach Mark Helfrich.
I see Trubisky making great strides.
Yeah, with that.
this guy.
Yeah, I
So
do too.
I see everyone in the division getting a little bit more respect for the Bears.
Yeah.
Especially with Allen
Oh no,
Robinson
yeah, I
there.
think they and that's where I kind of regret it is I feel like
There's
they do
growing
take a step
pains.
up in the division.
There's going to be growing pains in
Yeah.
this division.
I could easily see them maybe that's the thing, man. This whole fucking division could go 8-8.
Right.
It's a weird fucking division.
Exactly.
There's so many changes.
Like, it could be top heavy, or
Yeah.
it could be fucking in the middle of the road.
So to recap my predictions, I have Packers winning at 12-4, Lions and Vikings both go 8-8, and Bears at 5-11. And to recap the 4 divisions we've done,
Right.
I think the 4 division winners I have predicted are Eagles, Dolphins, Steelers, and Packers.
Mine are I think I said the Eagles, Patriots, Packers, and the Steelers.
Yeah. So it's just like
Mine's a little bit
yeah.
more.
Well,
Mine's a
you're-
little like
yeah.
like orthodox.
My only wild card is the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Besides that, I'm with you. It would be the Pats.
So I have the Packers 12-4, Vikings 11-5, Lions 8-9, and Bears 6-10.
I'm lower with Mikey on this.
yeah.
I feel like that's exactly where I'm lying with.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Packers win the NFC North. Pittsburgh wins the AFC North. That New England wins the AFC East, and
Here's the question: do you see, since we all have the Green Bay Packers taking the North, do you see them having home field advantage throughout the playoffs? Because that's the toughest. That's a tough road.
That is.
Yep.
Probably.
January's in Lambeau are always.
Yeah.
Because that's an edge.
But to me,
right?
that's playoff football. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
that's one of those stadiums. That's fucking like Gillette Stadium, Heinz. Like,
I mean the Eagle like what,
AT&T Stadium.
oh
Heinz is
yeah.
Pittsburgh.
No, I know. I was
Yeah.
like, that is their stadium, right?
what is it? Last year the Philly Minnesota game wasn't that cold. It was like 40 degrees.
Yeah.
So it was like a decent weather, but like for a dome team, it's tough.
Yeah.
But if Green Bay has a good year like we're predicting,
Yeah.
where they could probably trade a loss, I think they might sneak a win in maybe late in the year, so they might end up being the number 1 seed. It could be exactly how Aaron Rodgers wants
Yeah,
it.
because I have the Steelers at 11-5, so like Packers would have the best record so far
Right.
to me. It's gonna be so fun at like late in the football season,
Speak-
coming back to these episodes and like doing a
Checking it.
recap. Yeah.
Speaking of like Green Bay, fucking I was watching the All or Nothing, and one of the rookies on Dallas, we were playing the Giants.
Yeah.
It was like one of the last games of the season, or it was close to one of the last games of the season, and he's like, "Man, it's fucking cold out, man. Is it gonna be like this during the game?" And Jason Wayne goes, "Dude, if you think this is cold," he's like, "Try playing in Green Bay last year during the playoffs." He's like, "That was the coldest I've ever been playing football."
Yeah.
And I
Tom
was like,
Coughlin's face is
"Fucking
never
true."
defrosted.
Yeah.
That's almost as much of football Siberia as the Bengals are.
Yeah.
It's Lambeau Field in January.
And also with the, I said New England wins the AFC East. With the NFC East, I think it's going to be a toss-up between Dallas and Philly. I can't say. I honestly can't give you an answer of
yeah.
Yeah.
who's
No,
going to win
because
that.
like with the uncertainty of the NFC East, that's why I feel Green Bay could actually be the most dominant NFC team.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like you said about the NFC East too, it's fucking weird. Like we're always a close division.
It's-
For all we know, 3 quarterbacks could like tear their ACLs, and like
When-
the Redskins could fumble into the fucking playoffs.
When it comes down to
It
it,
could
it's
happen.
like
Yep.
when it comes down to it, and I know we didn't really get to talk. I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about it. But with the Eagles, like say Wentz doesn't come back for 4 weeks. Say hypothetically the injury lasts 4 weeks, or whatever. Like, do you think Foles would be able to win four games? You think he splits 2-2? You think 3-1?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I don't think he comes in with the momentum of last year.
Yeah.
You should
And
listen
then-
to the show.
I did. I listened to it 3 times actually. Actually, on my way here, I was listening to it too. So
Because it's on motherfucking iTunes right now,
Woo!
baby.
I want to figure out. We looked on Pocket Casts,
Right.
and there wasn't the album artwork. which was weird to me.
We
I've been
gotta
looking
fix
at that, but
that.
no. So we should be on iTunes now. I can submit that to Spotify and hopefully try to get us on there.
Yep.
That's a waiting game.
Yeah, bud.
Podbean makes it easy though.
Podbean is great.
You just it just says connect to Spotify.
Love
and as long as you
Podbean.
have an iTunes feed,
Yep.
it'll do it for you.
Yep.
And put
Yeah.
you in the process. So so we are on iTunes. Pretty much anywhere you should be able to get podcasts except Spotify. We're trying that. Also, we'll probably be on YouTube. Podbean has that feature where it uploads to YouTube, so I'm going to play around with that, see if we can get that going. And, by now, you would know if that's happening because you'd be listening to the show.
Wherever you're listening to us, keep listening to
Yeah,
us.
please, whether it's your drive to work or at work or wherever.
Or if you're playing Madden and you're like, man, this game sucks, listen
Where's
to a
real
podcast.
football? Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. All right, so that's going to do it for us this week. Next week is the South.
Ooh,
We're going down south,
Spicy
baby.
South, baby.
It's gonna get hot and steamy
so spicy.
in the south. That's what happens.
I think we're gonna have a lot.
down
We
there.
should have a lot of fun. Probably be really boring. So
Yeah, I think the West is gonna be the most fun.
I think so too. All right, so guys, let's tell the good people where they can find us.
Start with you.
All right, if you want to start
Yeah,
with
let's
me.
start-
You
Go
can
around.
you can find me mostly at Movie Mayhem Pod or at Movie Mayhem Podcast on Instagram. I do a weekly movie show with my buddy Matt. It's out every Sunday. Always check us out. iTunes, Spotify, Pod, whatever the fuck it is. It's everywhere, baby. Movie Mayhem Pod.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at mdquat. Wait, no, that's my Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at dquats, and you can find me on Etsy with my business T Factors. Look that up if you're in the mood for getting some married stuff. So
Yeah, football and marriage.
football and marriage. Also, I have a fantasy football shirt, and I'm actually going to be coming out with more fantasy football shirts. So
Oh, good.
It's going to be customizable, so you can put your team name, whatever you're looking for. That's coming out soon.
Can you make a
real
shirt
quick.
that says "I'm just here because no one else is"? In fantasy
It's a
football?
real good shirt.
For people who are
It's a
just
real
burnt
good
out
shirt.
of fantasy.
I almost made one that to wear today. That was gonna from last week. You guys, it was like let's do Dallas. I almost did a let's do Dallas in navy and white. I
Oh,
was like
boy.
that would have been fucking dope.
Everybody does that.
And you can find me over on Twitter, ParksXCore. Throw up the X for the biggest free agent in the market.
Yes.
For the
Dropping-
no, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. For the X for no team will sign him. You can find me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Bullhammer. I'm streaming pretty much at least 3-4 nights a week now. Hoping to get one in today. We'll see, though. It's already 12:30 at night. So we'll see about that. Instagram, ParksXScore. It's pretty much any handle you'll find me on is ParksXScore, except Twitch. That's Bullhammer. And, yeah, that's about it.
You could hit us up on Twitter at PickLastPod. You could also drop us an email at picklastpodcast@gmail.com. We'll be back next week. And good night and go fuck yourself.
We will see you in the
Jesus.
South.
You see you in that dirty, dirty.